Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon for you. And if you're in the United States, I want to welcome everybody. Thank you all for showing up today, and welcome. It's good to have Bob here with us as well. Everybody who's joining us, I bless you guys. I love you guys. And I wanted to start our discussion today, let you guys know we're going to be doing recaps today. I do want to make sure we do recaps. We didn't do much recaps. This week we had 2 sets of tutorials. We had our cutting class on Wednesday. If you have not seen that video, watch it. It's really informative, really good. It was one of our best classes I think we had. So this is for Dive members. If you are a Dive tier member, watch the recap on the cutting class from Wednesday. Okay, so we go over step by step how to go down all the way to a 1-minute chart and start slicing through price. Okay, so we're gonna take requests as we have our opening discussion. We are gonna take requests. Okay, now our opening. So you can put it in the chat if you want to, and I will see the chats. Good morning, everybody. Aloha, Kingdom Builders. Aloha, 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 everybody. Nolan just says like this, hi. 5 fingers. He must not be in Hawaii. Nolan, we narrowed down where you live. It's not in Hawaii. That's for sure. Just to remind you guys what's going on. We had a podcast meeting with Prophet Robin and Prophet Brandy Cunningham. And it was really nice to have them on our Thursday WordRoom. It's only podcast. It's available for all Patreons, all tiers. I did not put it on YouTube. It's not public. The links will get shared online. I might put snippets of that. I think the message I want to say to TC, that part where I talk about TC specifically, I'll probably put that on YouTube, but I haven't put it there. Nolan says, true, very true, surrounded by snow and ice. Okay, he must be working in a freezer tonight. Just kidding. I worked at a freezer when I was 16 years old, and it was terrible. So I was a cook at Kentucky Fried Chicken, and there was many times where I'd have to go and sort out the chicken and stack the boxes. So I'd be in that freezer. Oh man, some of you guys who work fast food, you know what it's like. That is cold, especially if you're in Arizona. Your blood's not thick. Your blood is really warm. If you guys are in Arizona, most people. SHINA. Oh, SHINA. Sorry, SHINA Inu. Okay, not SHIBA. Okay. SHINA Inu. I got a little bit of that. The people want to know what's in the Colonel's recipe. I'll tell you what's in the Colonel's recipe. MSG. No, it comes in little bags. They don't tell us what's in it. They said they assemble it from different manufacturers at a different location. So it just comes in a bag. It doesn't say the exact recipe. Okay, 17 herbs and spices. Guys, I want you to be very prayerful and ready for the tumult that's happening externally. And some of the external tumult that's going to be the first to be a part of the wealth transfer is going to be the banking system collapse. They've admitted it on several occasions in their discussions that they're trying to hold back from the public at large. They think it's unnecessary to talk about the banking collapse, even though they know it's going to happen. And they said, quote, it's going to happen at their meetings, at their banking meetings. But they also said that people just don't need to know about it because they have FDIC insurance. Now, we may have FDIC insurance, but it does not pay out right away. There's people that are going to need their money. And already we've seen this begin in Russia. We started seeing this in Japan last year. We started seeing the China banks, runs on the banks in China towards the end of last year. And now they're also coming to some of the West. But it's only going to get bigger and bigger and leading even up to protest. And I'll show you some things about it. And I just want you guys to be ready that some of these banks are going to get hit hard. And I think there's 4 main banks to be of concern of. I think there's going to be Bank of America. Chase Bank will probably be next, but Bank of America is already first. And then there's going to be Wells Fargo, and there's one more, Citibank. I think Citibank is going to completely go away during the time or get hit really hard. Bank of America is going to be insolvent. I think they already are insolvent. And I think that's also why we're seeing all on YouTube and different clips of people that are sharing on Instagram, TikTok, and social medias and things like that, Facebook. They're sharing that they're not able to get their money. And they're sharing missing money in their Bank of America. When they're calling customer service, it's even hitting some local news stations, by the way. When they're calling customer service, it's just telling them that we're unable to take your call at the moment. And It's really strange that you work really hard, you get your paycheck, and there's no money. I have a few pictures I wanted to share with you just as an honor to myself that I would talk about some of these things. I'm hearing a lot of people share some of this content. And I saw a quick clip as well, and I meant to share this. And I won't play the clip. I can't play the clip just here, but I do want to talk about it. There was a clip from an episode of Simpsons, and you guys know that there's a lot of weird discussions about the Simpsons often predicting events in the future in their show in a satire format. Some people say there's time travel involved. Some people say that the owner, he's involved with secret people. Some people say that the owner of The Simpsons had technology into Operation Looking Glass. I don't know. But whatever the case is, that they have a high track record of showing events in the future, predicting lots of things in the future, just in their show, playing around with it. And one of the things that they played around with was a run on the banks in Bank of America. And in Bank of America, the run on the banks, they showed that Bart goes around telling people, hey, you only have enough cash for 3 customers. And then he starts telling people, like creating a panic for there to be a run on the bank. And then the bank customer says, well, we don't have the money. And then they all start fighting each other. And it's a bad situation. But I saw people online showing the videos of there not being enough money while they're in line at the actual store, at the actual Bank of America, and the tellers didn't know what to tell the people. And they were saying, hey, how come I have missing money? And then they showed all the people behind them that also had the same exact problem. They were like, do you have missing money? And they're like, yes. Even old ladies, young people. It didn't differentiate between who these people were. They all just had missing money. So what I'm saying is that some of these events that are part of the wealth transfer, maybe just on our horizon, of very close events, and we're going to see it just escalating until a tumult. And one of the things that we in the wealth transfer communities and also in many intel communities, we're expecting a collapse of the system. When the system collapses, you're going to see the stock markets collapse very suddenly. And then I think it's within about a week or so, a week or 2 weeks from the collapse of the stock market, you will see the collapse of the crypto world. So that's why I want to mention in this discussion part, why would it be that, and why do you guys think that it would be approximately 1 week after the stock market crashes? And I have my thoughts about this. And I want to hear from you. I want to share my thoughts first, and let me know if you guys suspect anything else. But my main thing is that this is my main takeaway from this. The system's going to collapse, and lots of things will be exposed. People are going to panic with their money and move it into their crypto accounts. A lot of banks, hedge funds, and everything, they're moving their things to the cryptos. However, as the cycle of money comes to a halt, and money in America based on fiat currency only works if the flow of money is still flowing. Okay, when the money flow stops, then money starts becoming worthless. And there's a lot of reasons why that is, but if you have an economy and you bring it to a halt and the flow of money stops, then money itself starts becoming even an issue, a problem. So what I think is going to happen is people are going to fear, and they're going to be pulling money into the stock market, into the crypto world. Now, cryptos should boom for a short time because of that. However, because the realization that money itself becomes a big problem, and the collapse of the economic system is not just the system, but actually the supporting bases, the FDIC may give us problems. The fiat itself being isolated from the rest of the world, who will go back to a gold standard, which we're seeing the BRICS nations all around you saying, okay, we're going to start our own club. We're going to have currency backed by gold. America, if they do not go back to the gold standard, immediately they're going to be left out in the dust in a losing system. And you're just going to see a downward spiral for the money system of the United States. And it's going to happen very quickly. We need to fix it. And to fix it, we have to go to a quantum system, to the quantum financial system. This is the system you've heard about touted by many people in different intel communities, dream communities, prophetic communities. Even just recently, I got an email I want to share with you tomorrow during the WordRoom. You're going to see that happen. Now, there was a man who dreamed that there was a boom in the crypto world just before the collapse of the crypto markets. I believe there will be a collapse of the crypto markets, but is there a boom on the horizon? On our USDT chart that we're going to look at in just a moment, we've seen where that boom is going to come in, and we also see plenty of areas where we see the next crashes and down markets also coming in the market. So we'll review that in just a moment. But if we're looking at this story in context, collapse of the system, run on the banks, defaults of banking institutions, okay, you're going to see defaults on credit cards, on housing payments, and it's just going to be really bad until the new system is up and running. But the old system has to die. So there's going to be a death to the current financial system and an activation of the new financial system. And in the midst of that happening, you're going to see some very crazy things. I think this is also a perfect time for the exposure. And even if we don't see the exposure all happening at once, the exposure of all the corruption, you're going to see it over time because the people are just going to be fed up. And if I was the good guys and I was working behind the scenes, I would absolutely let the Biden administration take the fall. I was thinking about that last night. I told Melody, I said, if I was maybe the real president, working behind the scenes, or the real powers that be, if that offends you, I would definitely let them take the fall, because they need to take the fall, because there's too many people within this current system in the cabal where they are working against you, and it's evil. It's evil. They're really working against the people. We need to have that exposure, and this will be the times that's the perfect times for it to start happening. So whether it comes through a military action or just comes slowly over time just by the natural flow of things, people getting mad, they can't get their money, that's it, we're done with the government, we're done with this, we need justice, and they make the justice happen. However it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And this is going to be a collapse of stocks, a boom for cryptos for a little bit of time as that fear comes, but as the realization that the money is not worth anything, even the systems, and combined with the exposure of everything that's happening, it's going to reveal more corruption back in those institutions, and therefore the exchanges themselves will also collapse. And that's going to trigger fear and panic and another crypto crash. So is it possible that right now we are on the cusp of the boom that's a very temporal and a very scary boom, because it's not a natural boom. It's more of a boom based out of an immediate fear, and it's very temporal. This is why we saw Bitcoin spikes right into those areas and then right back down into normal areas, and then now we're trying to climb up again with Bitcoin. Why is that happening at this time when we're still in all the down markets? Why is it happening right now at the verge of this collapse? If you've looked at any of the crashes throughout the century, you're going to see that during these times, right at the last moment, that was the time where the bubble exploded. Just before the bubble exploded, there was one last boom. It was like the party's over, they mark up one more time, they take the money, and they get the heck out of there. That, I believe, is going to manifest itself in cryptocurrency. You're going to see one last pump, and the big boys are going to try to scramble as much money as they can, and they're going to get out of there. They're going to dump the party on the retail traders, and the market is just going to hit some very low numbers. And the scary part is that once that happens, then people will be left very traumatized. They're going to be left like all their cryptos that they're holding are going to be worth very little. You're going to see Bitcoin, probably that's the time Bitcoin will go to zero. I believe this is the time that when that happens, that will match the time that I saw in my dream last year. And the calendar date I saw was in June when I saw that happen. And I thought it was June last year, and I was like, oh, nothing happened, okay. But I had this dream where there was this time where there was 3 days and there was shock. All over the world, all over the world, there was this shock where everybody was just looking at prices just in the dirt, and almost no one knew what to do. However, I called up my friend in the dream and I said, now is the time to buy. Now is the time to get the cryptos, because now you're going to be able to get every crypto that you want and buy it. We've had some of you in Jay Song's community who are dreaming these things. I think House in particular, he was swimming and everyone was in this crash event. The plane crashed, everyone was swimming in the water. They were like drowning, and House was like not even worried about swimming. He was like, you guys don't have to worry about swimming, just catch the fish. Just catch the fish. And then a prophetic voice came to him, and it sounded like somebody from our own group as well, who said, it didn't even matter the fish, just grab some fish. They didn't even have to worry about the fish. They just needed to grab any fish, and he was cutting those fish in half. And he was like, what does this mean? And I said, well, I think it means you're going to be able to get half off on almost anything. That was a very simple analogy in his dream of what God was trying to show him, that there's going to be a time where you have to get ready. Maybe for some of you, this means putting some money on your cryptocurrency exchange. I would probably say in USDC. Okay, that's more safer than Tether. Tether will go away. I don't think it's going to happen right now. I think we got more time. But I think that what's going to need to help you be prepared is have some money in your cryptocurrency exchange ready to go. Even if it's just $100 or $1,000, put some money aside on your cryptocurrency so that when the crashes happen, you'll be ready to go and buy in. Some of you have low Bitcoin orders at $200, $120, 1 cent, $1. Some of you guys have Bitcoin orders because Bitcoin's going to go crash for a moment and then it's going to come back up just to around, I think it's around 10 to 11,000 for a very short time. But during that moment when it goes to zero and comes back up is because the systems are going to go offline. And this glitch or hacking event that people have talked about for a long time, that I've talked about for a long time, is coming. And when is the best time to come? When we switch the system from the current system to the quantum financial system. When there's a collapse of the old system and we need to go to a new standard, gold standard, you're going to see shortly thereafter XRP activated for its utility function. The company itself said, this case is going on, but even without the case, we already authorized to activate under emergency circumstances. So if there's like some kind of need for us to step up to the plate, we will activate to support the infrastructure in the United States as well as around the world. So XRP is not going to wait for the case to activate for when this happens. Now, I believe we may have time for that, but I just wanted to let you guys know my current dream that I had back in around November, I think, was that I saw some movement in March. So I think that we may expect good things in March. If the dream from last year still has a June date, I think it was around June 17th from last year, or June 29th, something like that. If it's still a June date, maybe it's June of this year. Maybe those are two important areas we should be looking at. Everything in this video is not financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. Everything is just for entertainment, educational, and comedic purposes only. Bear in mind that I eat red crayons for breakfast, and so should you. Bear in mind that eating red crayons and trading in the markets both carry substantial risk. Never trade more than you can afford to lose, and especially be aware against high leverage trading or even leverage trading at all during volatile market times. Yes, sir.
So I just want to make sure I'm understanding this correct. You're saying right now what is holding up Bitcoin is manipulation purely, right?
There is a lot of manipulation that holds up Bitcoin. It's not, I wouldn't say it's purely manipulation and only manipulation. There are some areas of supports and resistance that are still active, but a lot of what holds up Bitcoin, a major part of it, is the manipulation of the tether market. And it's like a fraud scheme that always feeds back into Bitcoin. Yeah?
Gotcha, I appreciate it.
No problem. We've had that discussion before. It is a little bit complicated because there's so much of the market that flows through Tether, and the monies that people stake and buy, they're used to funnel back into Tether to support the market. And that's also one of the main reasons on why it seems like if Bitcoin goes up, the markets go up, and Bitcoin goes down, the markets go down. And the connection between USDT.D or the connections between Tether and Bitcoin. Rainer, am I allowed to say the message you sent to me out loud? In this chat?
Right.
Yes, you meant the one that I sent just now.
Yes.
I thought you were talking about that email I sent you.
Oh, okay.
No, that's fine. You can mention that.
Okay. The Lord told me that many people will be devastated soon, and we need to pray for restoration of their funds. He also said these crises bring people closer to Him. Superfood mentioned Bank of America will not go under, will be resurrected for the new system. Yeah, only some banks are going to go completely under. I think you're going to see an attack on, since we're currently under the FDIC system, at least publicly, that you will see the immediate results of some of these bankings collapsing. However, they're either going to be bailed out, which was they're trying to do, right? That's the current plan. Or in the new quantum financial system, some of these banks will have to come back to life, taking upon CBDCs. So you're going to see that talked about a lot more. Central bank digital currencies. So the central banks of the world, the governments of the world, creating digital dollars, digital euros, digital yuan, and these are cryptocurrency versions of their existing currencies. And that's going to be more and more in the future. But Bank of America will be the #1 partner with Ripple. Is it true or false? It is true, 100%. Bank of America is a public Ripple partner. They've talked about it, that they are partnering with Ripple. That means that when XRP goes live, Bank of America will thrive. Okay. But right now, you're going to see a lot of people get hurt because of that. We need to pray for them. If you got some of the intel from Intel communities was banks not safe. We remember that from almost 2 or 3 years ago. The banks are not safe. Then we started seeing Mr. Poole posting pictures of ATMs, reminding people. You're going to see people trying to get their money out of ATMs and not be able to. You're going to see runs on banks. Please be safe. Get your money, your most important monies. I would say get them out of the banks, at least for a time. There was a... Okay, Claudia, can I share this? Yes, okay. Claudia is sharing the message. This is a great time to share that message. I'm going to share this message that I got. And I saw this, and Prophetic Money shared this on his channel today. And Claudia's also posted. Some of you guys seen this, so I'm going to make sure these... Okay, I want you to watch what I'm about to share. There it goes. Post. Barry Woonage once shared a prophetic word. Barry, tell my people it's time for the wealth transfer to be released. This was from January 18, 2023. It's found in the Canadian Hammer. This morning as I went about my day, I kept hearing the words Federal Reserve. I must have heard it about half a dozen times. As I pulled aside and began to pray, I was immediately taken by the Spirit into the United States Federal Reserve. There was a Federal Reserve server room. It was bright, lit, and had rows of racking and servers humming along. I watched as a team of highly specialized techs worked behind the scenes, worked behind the servers. I could see them, but they were mostly transparent. I knew that they were each connected to the system, some on the inside and more from the outside, but all were working on the same project. They were tracing and identifying connections from other nations, banks, stock exchanges, and Wall Street. They were preparing to cut each line off from the old server for a new system was very soon to be fired up. These Federal Reserve servers were at maximum capacity. They were not going to last much longer. The system was in trouble and on the verge of a fatal crash. The team worked diligently behind the scenes, tracing each line and each connection into the system and preparing for the changeover. The system was outdated. It had served its purpose for a time. It was now done. There was a new system ready to go replace the old server. It was a quantum system like nothing ever seen. It's very interesting, the same choice of words. Nothing ever seen before. Years in development and ready to roll out. It was smaller, more compact, and lightning speed, faster than anything before. I saw a case opened up, and inside the core looked like the most perfect diamond, crystal clear and bright. It reflected and radiated light in a way I had never seen. The light bursting out of it was as bright as the sun. There was something very new and different about this technology. It was the future. I'll pause right there. The AI technology often uses crystal memory. The central cores and processors of these new technologies use crystal memory. So so far it's correct. I've seen this technology. I've seen the studies back from the 1970s that show that crystals hold memory. Crystals have very strong power. They hold a lot of strong frequency, and they hold the memory even of a person. And there's ways to tap into the feelings and the memories that are stored, that are generated within the crystal. However, I also know that if someone else touches a crystal, they can also change the memory. So you have to, once you have a crystal, you have to protect that crystal, because it can hold memory and data. So scientists have known that crystals can actually hold memories. We use crystals in watches, we use crystals in batteries, we use crystals, certain sapphire crystals in like certain computers. We use these all the time. Scientists have wanted to turn these into cores. We just didn't know how to access that level of the technology. Perhaps by making it multifaceted, we could, like such as a diamond. In this case, you see this large diamond that seems to be this core, and they bring it out because it's part of that system. It's very interesting. Doesn't seem like science fiction, although this technology is very new to us, okay? I was then taken out of the server room, down a hallway and an elevator. We went up. The elevator doors opened into a hallway with offices running down both sides. As I walked down the hallway, things were running hot. Conversations were loud and passionate and animated. The Federal Reserve had been in trouble before, but never this bad. Agents were pleading with those they were talking to, trying to hold it together with all they had. The men and women working on the phones in a state of panic. It had suddenly gotten real. This was not like anything they had faced before. There was a room full of agents working the phones, speaking foreign languages, explaining things, and negotiating as hard as they could to other nations and governments, foreign investors, and stakeholders, trying to navigate the storm and what was happening. As I continued down the hallway, there were agents dealing with government agencies, going through reams of reports, searching for ways and places to cut the budget, because there just wasn't enough to go around around the way things were. Others were being prepped for the next step when it goes down and how to deal with the fallout. A little further down the hall was another meeting room where there was a group of political leaders being briefed as to what was on the verge of happening and what the potential ramifications were going to be. The room was very somber. Emotions and tensions were running high. It was a powder keg ready to blow. Another room had a team plotting how they could spin this crash in a way to blame Trump and the Republicans, when it was clear in their briefing discussions that the Democrats themselves were to blame. And they knew it. They had to try to spin it because they would not be able to hide it any longer. Everything was going to be exposed. Hallelujah. There was a set of locked security glass doors at the end of the hallway where there was a group of journalists standing with cameras and microphones in hand, ready to attack with questions. This was going to be historic, major, breaking, big news. The Holy Spirit then clearly spoke to me. Barry, tell my people it is time for the takedown. It is time for the wealth transfer to be released. It is time to pull the plug on the most corrupt system of all, and those who think they control it. They have raped and pillaged my people for too long. They have held my people in slavery, and the day is upon you for freedom. Watch as I dismantle the system that held my people in bondage. What I have started cannot be stopped. It is time to remove those who have controlled the purse strings. It is time to take back the purse. Never again shall it be in their hands, for all that was gained through unrighteous means shall be returned 100-fold to my people. I will see to it that justice is served, and slave masters shall be apprehended and brought to justice. The roundup is about to begin. They will turn on another, left and right, and center, and try to save themselves, but in the end, justice will be served to all. Watch as I pull the clinch pin that they have held and protected at all cost. And the clinch pin will be the pin that holds everything together. They're trying to protect that, to keep that pin from coming that holds the machine together. Watch as I pull the clinch pin that they have held and protected at all cost. They are about to lose all control. I am taking it out of their hands. It will be there today and gone tomorrow. The day they have dreaded is upon them. Barry, tell my people, do not fear, do not be afraid. For even though it may appear like the end is near, a new day is dawning. Drawn together and draw unto me. For as you remain in me, I will meet your every need. Holy is the word of the Lord. Tell my people, it's time for the takedown. It's time for the wealth transfer to be released. How powerful. So Barry, if you're listening, wonderful. Thank you for sharing that from Canada to United States. And thank you, Prophetic Money, for showing that. It's very in alignment with Intel, with how it's supposed to happen. And we have to have these discussions so that you guys are ready, prayed up, in prayer, in position. I don't want you guys to take this and say, oh, doom and gloom and doom and gloom and doom and gloom only. No, it's not the time to fear. But some of us, it's maybe a time to start getting excited because those moments to catch the fish will soon be upon us. In fact, if you see that one last boom, make sure you take profits, right? Get some of that profits from the boom of the Bitcoin before it happens. And then you're going to make sure you take your profits and you get out of there. Because as soon as the top's in for the Bitcoin, there's no more. There's no more. You're going to see it go down. And then it's going to recover. And the recovery, as Prophet Robin said last year sometime, when it does happen, it will be subpar. It's probably only going to go to about 10, 11,000. You're going to see some resistance around there as well. According to our data, we see that. So some of these things are going to happen. People are going to think this is the end, and they're going to give up hope. You may see suicides go up. We're going to have to pray for people. We're going to have to offer them hope. We're going to have to let them know that just because you see this right now happening and it looks like chaos is breaking loose, it's not. It's not the end. The things have to die. The old seed has to die before the new life can begin. The seed has to die before it can enter into its glory. And for the wealth transfer to happen, things have to look a little bit dark. One last thing. The Passover, when the first wealth transfer happened in the Bible, in Moses' day, he said, tell my people get the gold from them, because the Egyptians today will not be here anymore. But the night that they received that prophetic word, the nights that they knew that it was about to happen, was also one of the darkest nights. It was scary. There was the angel of death passed over the whole land, and there was not a house except for in the people who had their door posted with the blood of the Lamb, had the blood of the Lamb, and that's the blood of Jesus, posted on their door. The doors of their hearts is the symbolic. Having Jesus's blood covering you. That's the current version of this. But back then they had the pure blood of the Lamb over the doorpost of their house. And they were all told to come together. If you didn't have enough lamb, come to somebody who does. And God, you all get together. And you eat that lamb and you eat that meal. You eat it with the staff in your hand. Your shoes on your waist. Don't even put the leavened bread in. Just eat it because you're about to go. And that's the attitude God wanted them to have. He said, you are going to go. Get ready. Get ready. But outside, they just heard screaming and death, because every house was visited by the angel of death. And the firstborn son, the firstborn male of every house was killed. The firstborn male of every single house. It was fathers, sons, every home. It was a funeral in every home throughout the land. Very somber time. A scary time. We're about to enter a wealth transfer. Don't be surprised, again, if God allows there to be death in the land. Very scary. Screaming, wailing, crying. But for you, do not be afraid, because there has to be a change in the regime. Hallelujah. Okay, let's hear from you before we go into the recaps. Team, do we have any comments about this? Superfood says, I agree, it's time for all to go down. I agree, March, April, June will be pivotal. HBAR, yeah. GALA.
I got a comment about, I think it's Zelle, is people having trouble with Zelle and Bank of America.
Okay. Oh, Zelle, you mean?
Okay, so, yeah. So from what I understand, that those transfers with Zelle is not like a credit card or anything, so people that have lost their money, the banks have no obligation to give it back to them. Also, all the big banks are tied into Zelle, and that might be a way for the banks to get their bail in. They're basically stealing your money.
Can you further elaborate? So, like, by keeping the Zelle system up, if I'm hearing people talk about the bail-in, I want to understand more about that. Can somebody explain the differences between the bail-ins and the bailouts? Usually, bailouts when the government enacts some kind of stimulus for the banking systems to give the money banks. Can somebody explain more about it?
I think a bail-in is when the government take money out of your account without your permission, if I'm correct. Is that correct, Mark?
Yeah, so that's from what I understand. So, yeah, like your bailouts are gonna be the government's giving the money to JP Morgan, those guys to get back on their feet. But the bail-in is where they're gonna be taking money. They basically can come out and say, the dollar's worth now 75 cents. So they're taking your 25 cents in order to build up their assets so they can pay you back.
Yeah, pay you back what they stole from you. War bonds, isn't it? Just a scam.
Yeah.
What would be...
Oh, and then,
Yeah, go ahead.
With all those big banks being tied to Zelle. Oh, yeah, so anyways, I heard like some of the same videos that you did. Yesterday when I went to Huntington Bank here in town, I just made a comment to a lady that I know, tell her, and I said, hey, do you guys use Zelle? Oh yeah, proud and everything. I said, hey, and I said, have you had any problem with it? Like people can't get money? She thought for a second, she said, yeah, earlier today, grandma came in and she couldn't get money to her grandson. So that was Huntington. I said the Zelle is not treated like a credit card. See, like when you use your credit card and something happens, you can go back to the credit card company and say, oh, this was a fraudulent charge, or I didn't mean to, or whatever the case is, and they give it back to you. Zelle's not set up that way. They have no obligation to give that money back or try to find it or anything.
Would this also affect credit unions, or is it just banks, or would it affect all of them?
I would do some investigating and see if your bank's using Zelle. Or for it seems like the problem is tied with Zelle.
Hello everyone. Jason, this is Yuri from Florida, a long time.
Hey, Yuri. Good to hear you again, my friend.
Okay, I do not understand what you're saying about Zelle. Could you elaborate a little bit more? What are you talking about? You send money through Zelle and then the money get lost and then you cannot get it? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Hey Jason, can I just share a little bit two things that the Lord have been dealing with me concerning banking and stuff like that?
Yes, absolutely. We would love to hear from you. Any insight, any dreams. Before you do that, I want to say what Mark said. So Zelle, and even my own mother had some problems with Zelle just the other day, 2 days ago. If you have money, there's people that are showing pictures of their Bank of America accounts just in the negative. And if they were to receive some kind of stimulus that's not for the banks but for the people, now the people are going to get either one or two options: direct deposit to their banks, and the bank's going to take their negative account and bring them just back up to zero to save themselves. That's possibly one thing. Another way is that if you have a check, you're going to need to take it to a bank to cash the check if they send out checks. But most people, when we get money from the government, we have to go somewhere to try to get that in either paper dollars or in gold. If it's in the system in the future, there's going to be ways where they're going to try to get the money and steal it back from the people. I'm concerned with those bail-ins. We definitely need to look into more investigating of these matters. I'm very curious about some of these things, how it will work. With that said, Yuri, go ahead. You got the floor.
Okay, first I want to thank you, Jason. I have been following you for a year and 8 months. I remember when you started Patreon. I was one of the first ones, so thank you for all the work you do. Unfortunately, I'm so busy and I cannot be as frequent as I want in your discussion sessions on the Zoom meetings. But go ahead. One thing that I was really shocked, and I highly recommended to watch a video from the YouTuber Mark Moss. I believe maybe one of this guy, Mark, M-A-R-K, Moss, M-O-S-S. So he put a video basically, and he was explaining how right now there are some videos from, it's not the Federal Reserve, it's the federal agency who insures the bank accounts. So in the United States.
FDIC.
Okay, thank you. So I went into the website of that. He also in the video told us, hey, you can check the video in this section. So I searched for the video, and the video is true. Basically, this federal agency, they had a meeting where they were telling, basically that your bank account's supposed to be insurance until $250,000 per person. So they were saying that's not true, that they were saying that there is going to come a collapse and there is no money to insurance the accounts of everybody. And by the way, they only have 1.5% of everybody's money. So there is no way they can actually insurance. And they were discussing in a meeting that what we're supposed to do. Do we supposed to tell the public? And they were saying between them, it's a public meeting and an official meeting. This is not a hiding camera, okay guys? This the meeting is actually recorded in whatever, I forgot the name. But the problem is that the meeting is 3.5 hours, so nobody watched the videos. But he told us where to look for. So basically on the meeting they were saying, do we supposed to tell the public? And they were saying no. We know that the banks or the big institutions have lawyers and they're gonna figure it out but we better not tell them because this is not create a panic. No, there is going to come a collapse and we are not gonna be able to insurance everybody's money, and there is going to be a bail-in. So I searched for a bail-in, and basically bail-in is when the banks become insolvent, they don't have liquidity, so they take everybody's money. If you had, for example, in Chipre, I believe it was, Chipre is a little country, is an island in Europe. They actually return the money to everybody around 49%. So if you have $100, you get $49. That's what they came out in Chipre when they did a bail-in in that country. So we don't know exactly how this is gonna play. So before I found that, in my spirit, I had some kind of like a bad feeling that something like that is coming, but I didn't know what to do or how to find information about it. So what actually, the video from New Daily Bread, Chartroom in the UK, her first video, one of the first videos is about a dream she had 10 years ago, where everything changed in the banking system and the banks treat everybody. So I'm not a financial expert, I don't know what to tell you, I don't know. He was saying like do safe investments. Don't have all the money in the bank, or if you have a lot of money, don't have it in different banks. Maybe you should have cash in hands, not in the bank, or credit unions is probably more safer than banks like Wells Fargo, big banks, because he was also telling people don't have the money in big banks where they have a big portfolio in mortgage, because the housing market is gonna go down here in the US. And he was saying also probably move your money to credit unions. So that's one of the things that I want to share. The other one is to pray for Josh Torres. She's the judge over the case of Ripple. Because I would not be surprised if she rules against Ripple. And not because she wants to, but because she's forced to do it. So I want to repeat that. I know English is my second language. please forgive me. Please pray for Josh Torres. She is the judge over the case of Ripple. One time while I was praying, that came to me, like, pray for her. I don't want to say I have a vision, but I didn't have a good feeling. Like, she, pray for her so she's not forced, or anybody external force her to rule against Ripple, even against her own conscience or will, if I can say it that way. But anyway, what the Lord was showing me that even though this may happen, or it happens, there is going to be like an appealing or anything like that, something like that, that the final outcome will be a ruling in favor of Ripple, where XRP will be declared as a coin and not a security. So I don't know if Frame will be able to stop anything like that at first ruling. I know also that the part in the lawsuit concerning, oh my God, what is that term? I don't remember the term, but it's a term like basically if the SEC, the federal agency, give enough information. Basically, one of the parts of the lawsuit will go to trial. Ripple doesn't want the judge to rule over that. And that maybe is when the good ruling is gonna come. I know English is my second language. I hope you guys were able to understand me, so sorry.
To piggyback on that FDIC about it's $250,000, but not per person, it's per account. Okay, and that video that you're speaking of, I saw part of it. Basically what they're coming out and saying is that the FDIC, being an insurance company, they don't have enough money to cover.
Yes.
So you'll never get it. Basically.
But one thing they said, this is, guys, listen to me. This is what really shocked me. Listen, please. They said there is going to be a bail-in. They didn't say it's gonna be all the banks. And that, guys, this is not a YouTuber saying. This is an official meeting. And they were saying, we know there is going to be a bail-in. I believe it's maybe one or two banks, they don't know. But they know that not all the banks are gonna survive. That's really scared me. And they were saying, we are not gonna tell the public. This is gonna create a crisis. This is gonna create panic. And then it's gonna be worse. I was like, what? You guys are supposed to be protecting us. How are you gonna hide this from the public? Anyway, I was so pissed off. I mean,
we also mentioned last year about this whole Ripple case, that it could actually be stretched out to 2025 by Judge Torres not ruling on this and bumping it to a Supreme Court. That's going to extend it out longer. In the ISO 2022 implementations, all the banks are supposed to be, even though most of them are doing it now, but they don't have to do it until 2025. That's where that date came up.
doing what?
I hope it doesn't. Yeah, I hope it doesn't get stretched out that long, but it could happen.
No, it's go ahead. Sorry, did I interrupt somebody?
It's just that you don't understand what he said about the bank's supposed to do it not now, but until 2025. But doing what?
Get all their CBDCs in compliance with the 2000 or US ISO 2022 compliance.
Okay.
That's the bank's deadlines, but most of them are already doing it. So I'm not so much concerned about the banks getting it done. I'm concerned about them stretching out the lawsuit until the deadline.
Talking about that, one time I had a dream, it was around 6 months ago. In the dream, I told a person, a customer, one of my customers, I told the person, do you know what's going on with LUNC? And that was a dream. When I was waking up, a voice told me, if you want to find out about LUNC, go to Chartroom channel. Jesus Christ. The other one is, I don't remember the guy, I will have to go in Google, not in Google, on YouTube, to his channel.
Drew White.
Yes. Drew, yes.
Drew White. Yep.
All right. The interesting thing about it is that right at that moment, I went to his channel. He published a video where he said that the Luna price will be 1 cent, something like that. But that's not the point that I want to get into. So in the comments, that was the day after he published the video. In the comments, 2 people said that they received a dream, or God told them, get Luna and then buy XRP, because XRP will be cheap still in that time. So this impression that I got when I was praying about XRP getting a bad first ruling from Judge Torres, and then getting a positive later, a positive ruling in court, is not that crazy. Because Sharon also received from the Lord, Sharon from UK, YouTube, to buy Luna, so then you can buy XRP, because XRP is still cheap during that time. So what I received that day when I went to his channel is the same message from Sharon and Drew. People were dreaming, get Luna, so then you can purchase XRP. So the analysis that I'm making is, if Luna is gonna go up first and then XRP, it will be still cheap. I don't think the positive ruling is soon in court for XRP. I don't think we're gonna have a huge bull run for XRP very soon. I'm sorry if I discourage anybody. That's my analysis based on what I received from the Lord, based on what Drew received, from what Sharon received, and what I received. That was like probably 4, 5, 6 months ago. So I received a video of Drew when he says that the price of XRP was 1 cent. I believe the dream I had was 3 days after he posted the video. Then I had my dream that says, go to website. Basically, not the website, and you're gonna find out. Yeah.
And what was your low price for you? Was it, you said 1 cent?
That was Luna.
Okay.
Luna. Basically,
Yeah.
the video of, if you wanna find out which video I'm talking about, the video is, I believe, that the price of Luna will be 1 cent. That's the video I'm referring. The comments, if
Yep.
you look into the comments, you're gonna see people commenting that they received from the Lord that they're supposed to buy Luna to then buy XRP. That's the whole analysis.
Yep.
So based on that, I believe that the big bull run for XRP is not soon. It may be a year from now, guys. I'm not giving any time estimate. The other thing is Prophet Manuel Johnson from California said in a video 2 days ago, I believe it's the last video. The video is about if we're gonna have a crash or not. I believe it's the last video. The video is 50 minutes long. In the video, he said that he had a time travel. And in the time travel, the price of Ripple or XRP, it was very high. I watched that video a long time ago, 5 or 6 months ago, I don't remember exactly, when he said that the price was around $70. And that the video has 6 months, is 6 months old. When he refer about when he tells about the time travel. The video, the last video is him talking about that video, that time travel 6 months ago. In the original video, he said the price was around $70 or $80, and that he felt in his spirit that the time travel was 2 or 3 years from now. So if the time travel was 6 months old, or 6 months ago, so you can make the math. So pretty easy, XRP will be $70 or $80 in 2 or 3 years, or maybe a little bit more from now. So
Thank you for your...
sorry if I
No problem, Yuri. You're always welcome on our channel. We appreciate your dreams, your visions. I appreciate your YouTube videos. I appreciate your contribution to our community and the JSON community, as well as the communities at large that are like ours and people who are part of different wealth transfer communities at the body of Christ. Specifically, we thank you, and also for collecting information too. I want to say just a little bit of shout out that most of the videos that Yuri's talking about are also posted in the VIP group. So if you are a member of Dive, if you are a Dive tier member, so that means that we have Dive tier for $18 a month. You get access to every episode of Chartroom. I believe we're on episode number 51. And so if you missed any of the episodes or you haven't been seeing my videos, just know that if you are a Dive member, you get links in after the video is filmed within 48 hours. Usually it's 24 hours, but usually not more than 48 hours. You get a link to an edited version of that video. So if you do miss a video or a class and you guys want to know what we're talking about, we are adding timestamps to the subjects we talk about. We talk about the timestamps for the individual cryptos. So say you don't want any tutorials, you just want to know what is my personal take on some of the energies coming in and out, or some of the things I see on a map that you might not see. You want to just get to that analysis quick, just click the button or the timestamp on the YouTube video. But these videos are not public. I think I haven't even made a video on YouTube in about a month. But again, I post videos several times a week. So if you guys like that, it is $18 a month for Dive. In addition to that, you can contact either myself, Superfood, Mark, and we'll put you in our Dive VIP group, which is a special VIP Telegram group specifically for Dive members. And there's a lot of special videos that are posted there, as well as in the other JSON Crypto in Christ Telegram communities. I appreciate you guys, your contributions to the wealth transfer communities, giving and sharing dreams, sharing intel, sharing videos, compiling information. It's very helpful. Yuri, if you wanted to do me a favor, if you have some of those videos that are some of your top favorites, if you want to just copy and paste a link, you can send it to my email and then put the little topic, and then we will post it in the pinned messages when this video is posted. So it'll be at the bottom in the notes section. It'll definitely help.
Actually, yes, I can do that.
Perfect.
I'll do my best. I haven't made more videos. Actually, I don't like making videos.
Yeah.
I don't do it for profit.
Of course. If you're one that's making videos for the sake of videos, we have to be careful with that. And I'm going to tell you this, and I just feel in my spirit to say this to you, okay? Because I feel you're in the right track, okay? But I feel in my spirit to say this to you, at the very least from a pastoral standpoint, okay? Because of your gift and your unique gifting that the Lord has been sharing with you, which is along the lines of prophetic, right? It's in that calling to share the things that the Lord has given you prophetically, some of the videos you made, and powerful videos. But for the sake, and you already know what I'm about to say too, by the way, for the sake of making a video, you got to be careful with that. If you make a video for the sake of making a video and the Lord has not given you a dream, you can actually force yourself to give people what their itching ears want to say. It's similar with ministers who are just preaching, but they haven't sought the Lord for what they're going to minister, or they cannot follow the leading of the Holy Spirit. If they're just making words just to say words, we can find ourselves being led by the people rather than being led by the God. But you're like, I don't want to make a video until I feel it's time. Then good. If you're having a channel that has a purpose, maybe you're talking about intel, whatever, that's different. I'm not talking about that. That's fine. But if you have an inkling just to make videos, just to feel like you have to do something, be careful, because what if it can influence your very thoughts and even taint even some of the prophetic that the Lord has given you. And that's why I say you probably already know what I'm saying. Now, if God is calling you to open a channel, hey, that's one thing. But if you, with your specific giftings, it's very wise to keep a pure vessel. If the Lord gives you something, hey, put it out there. Even if you have to make a special channel for that. But don't feel obligated, oh, I need to. And you don't need to. In fact, sometimes as the Bible, as we talked about in some of our previous sermons just recently, how they were being compelled to have dreams because the people wanted to hear a different answer. So they were almost shaking the prophets. Tell us. So the prophets actually started dreaming falsely, even because of that. Even their dreams were tainted. And we had a great discussion about that in WordRoom just the other day. That's my friend.
Yeah, thank you. As I said, sometimes I'm like afraid that people don't understand me because of my speaking. What I was saying is I do the videos when I'm actually when I feel pressed by the Lord. I mean, that's why I haven't made any videos. Actually, it's not something that I like. I don't like making videos. I don't like filming myself. People do it for money. I don't care about it. I mean, I don't. It's just, I will email you some of the videos. If you want an update, my personal plan is wait until everything collapses. I said to the Lord that I wanted to start buying and selling, or actually not buying and selling, buy when the price was, I don't know, 16,000. And what I received is, this is me. It doesn't have to be for you guys, okay? This is me. I am not buying until Bitcoin is under 10,000. When I say buying, means buying to store, to actually keep it and then sell when it's high. So everything is, I don't want to say everything, but the crypto world is gonna collapse big. And this is separate from Bitcoin going to zero. Bitcoin going to zero is because of a hack or something like that. But you guys, what I suggest to everybody is you need to seek the Lord. You cannot depend on Jason, Yuri, Drew, whoever. You depend from Jesus Christ. That has to be your priority. You depend on the Lord. You need to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. And I'm sorry if I mentioned Jason, that you cannot depend on Jason. He understands what I'm saying. You depend from the Lord. I mean, that He's your source, because that's what the Bible says. You have to create a relationship so you can actually develop a very strong relationship with Jesus, so you know when He's speaking to you. Yes, you're gonna make mistakes. I have made mistakes. I believe everybody has. But if you develop a good, solid relationship with Him, you're gonna learn to hear the voice of God, which means that you're gonna be able to be guided by Him, or you're gonna allow Him to guide you. Because if you don't develop a relationship and you want to buy and sell, build a future for your family, how are you going to buy it? How are you going to know it's the right moment? You want to give me a testimony? I remember I was traveling. I live in the US and I was in Barcelona. I remember the moment. I invested in the wrong moment. I invested like $15,000. I haven't said this to, I guess, nobody. And I remember the Holy Spirit telling me, oh, don't do it. Don't do it. And I silenced the Holy Spirit. And I lost about a lot of money. Because then I have to sell when the price was low. What I'm trying to tell you, everybody makes mistakes. But you have to be rooted on the Lord. He has to be your guidance. Why I decided to buy? Because I was following another person who is also a believer. And he was saying it's a good moment to buy. I'm not saying to you don't follow Jason. I actually encourage you to do it. He is a great man of God. Jason is a great, good man of God. But the Lord has to be your source, your guidance. Build a strong relationship with Him. And then you're gonna be guided to take right decisions. Ask the Lord for wisdom, and He's gonna give it to you. That's in the Bible. Praise the Lord. God
Amen.
bless you, everybody.
Amen.
I'm sorry, but I took too long. Sorry.
You always want Holy Spirit confirmation.
That's right, Janae.
Right, that's what I'm trying to tell. Wait for confirmation, guys. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yuri, for your time. So let's talk about a few things.
Yuri, I can understand because I talk the same.
And Claudia, are you guys all from the same place?
Me too! Me too!
So, do you guys speak Spanish like me?
I know how you feel. I'm living in the Philippines. When I go out and people I don't understand. I have to talk slow. When I preach, I have to preach like very clear, I have to preach like that. It's so weird, but I want to say a few things about some of these topics. Okay, before we continue, it's great to have this discussion. I didn't want to put a time limit on today, so if you guys are joining us, these are some of the topics we've had. For a long time, we've heard from the prophetic communities that you would see a rise of Shiba Inu around the time of the collapse. So Shiba Inu should be more in position around those times. So what have we been seeing in Shiba Inu in the past 2 weeks or so? We've seen Shiba Inu break above its resistances for the first time in a long time. Then we're waiting for the setups. We talked about Shiba Inu being in a good position for a good run. It's had a good run for the past, I think week and a half or so. So some of you guys made some money with your Shiba Inu. SHINA Inu, we're going to talk about in just a little bit, also came into position, and a few of these other coins. So if Shiba Inu hits prophetic numbers during this time, that'd be great. That'd be great. I think a lot of, we've heard, and some of the theory I spoke about over the past few months was that we would see Shiba Inu have a pump because some of the fear, people moving money out of the banks, not trusting. You're going to see people pick some of the coins. What are the coins they heard up a lot? You're going to see some of the market coins, the marketed coins. Bitcoins, XLM, XRP, Shiba Inu. We had shared a dream about a year or so ago. Now I think it's over more than a year, where there was a woman who was asking the Lord, when is it time to buy XRP? And she dreamed that she was standing on this ladder with the bucket, and the bucket was said Shiba, or she received this bucket full of wealth, a seed, a little bit of wealth. She poured it all into Shiba Inu, and that bucket just started growing and overflowing, and she poured all that into XLM, and then XLM grew, and then finally she poured it into XRP. This has long made us speculate that even though long-term XRP is going to be hitting huge numbers, and some of you need to just buy XRP and just hold it, but it doesn't look like it may happen soon. At the middle to the beginning of last year, we started seeing information from certain intel communities, I think especially from Royal, who said to us, don't be surprised if the wealth transfer takes a lot longer than you expect. As I prayed about some of these things, I also confirmed that it's going to happen a little bit slower than some of us wanted to. And sure enough, here we are, almost some of you guys been waiting a little bit longer than you've been wanting to, right? 2 years for some of you? But think about, as I mentioned, often the dinar people. The dinar people have been waiting over 13 years for some of the prophecies about the dinar. Lord, you said. You know, we had a great discussion about this the other day about about Noah, when he was preaching about how long it actually lasted. According to some ancient texts, it appears that he was waiting around 40 years from the time he heard, I'm going to destroy, and then I'm going to bring a new earth, and I'm going to repopulate you, and you're going to build an ark, and you're going to save everything. But it was like 40 years from when he started working, and he heard the word from when it happened. That's a long time. And even then, the whole thing lasted around 40 days and 40 nights of just rain. And then after the rain, the waters had to subside. How long did that take? Another time after that. So sometimes this is going to happen over a long time. What if XRP doesn't move until 2025 or even longer? People are going to be like, what? I've been holding XRP for years. Well, get buckled up. But we also talked about this, that some of these prophetic coins from time to time will be scattered throughout the wealth transfer for seed money. For seed money, meaning to get into ultimate position, there's going to be things that are going to happen. But you're going to have some money, some seed money, and God knows it. So he's going to give you things like the Luna Classics, like the SHIBAs, like the SHINAs for some of you. For some of these prophetic coins that God has told you, and you have to keep them a secret. Some of these prophetic coins are going to pop up, and the purposes for those are seed money, so that you have seeds to scatter. Now the Bible says invest in 7 ventures, for you do not know what will befall the land. So maybe some of you should have 7 coins. Some of these coins that you have will be like seeds, and this will pop up, and now you have more seed money for the others. Then maybe that one pops up, and then you have more seed for the others. If you're just holding only one seed only in the ground, meaning like maybe one prophetic coin, or maybe just in gold, or just in silver. Now you're waiting for that gold, and then if you see other coins rising up, you're gonna be like, man, I'm waiting for mine, how come they got theirs? It can cause you to be impatient. Okay, it can be big gains, but you have to know the one that's the first. And we don't know that. You have to pray to the Lord to show you the order of operations. And as we've been praying, we've been hearing more and more confirmation that it's not XRP first. Now, will XRP pump? Yes, I believe there's going to be some pumps along the way. I think you're going to see even moves up to $12. I mentioned that sometime last year, and we haven't talked about it ever since. There's some moves that will happen, but I don't see that being those high numbers that we're expecting, at least not yet. Now, I want to say something about this. When it comes to these coins, I want you to continue to pray that the Lord show you the order of operations for you, for your life, and to help you. Now, I'll show you some coins. We're going to talk about SHINA Inu in just a moment, but I want to make sure that we are talking and having often conversations about some of these things, because as we are now entering some of these collapse types of events, it's going to hit home. It's going to become real. How much time do we have? I don't know, but be in position, be ready for some of these movements, because these may be for you to have some seed money. Amen? Okay. All right, wonderful. All right, let's get into SHINA Inu. Let's go into some coins. I know we spent a lot of time in our opening discussion, but it's good we talk about some of these coins. All right, so SHINA Inu, we talked about SHINA Inu from our post on Patreon from episode 46, okay? January 3rd, episode 46. And if you guys wanted those image notes, they're there on episode 46 CR on the website, okay? See, SHINA Inu. If you ever want to know, I tag every episode. So if you guys want to know my last takes on some of these cryptos, I want you to just go to my website. In the search bar, type in the crypto you're looking for, and it should show you some options. So this one's called SHINA Inu. So just type in SHINA Inu and it'll show you where these are at. That's how you can find anything fast. It'll show my last post. Just go from top to bottom, okay? And then you're going to see all the, on the website, you'll see the different charts. Just click on them, okay? Now, here's the charts for SHINA Inu. So we talked about, and this is a little blurry, forgive me, but I talked about SHINA Inu getting into position. There was some round structures that we had verified around this time, and price breaking. So a sword cut was created around those, as well as the leveling off for SHINA Inu. SHINA Inu became in position around this time. This was a good time to buy. We talked about it. We marked it in health. This is a daily chart, which means each one of these little squiggly marks is just 1 day worth of time. So it grows over time. We want to buy low, sell high. We could see that SHINA Inu from that moment had another pump up back to its previous highs, and these highs were about the same. So this is a high level core. You may want to draw that. We talked about that, okay? Now we also started marking off the bottom, because as we were starting to see this round action, you can start thinking, oops, one moment guys, spilled coffee on my computer. If you see buttons going, forgive me guys, don't like to spill coffee on my Bible, on my computer. I love these waterproof keyboards, you need them a little bit. Silicone keyboards. All right, one moment. Can you guys, okay. So we talked about SHINA Inu, S-H-I-N, not Shiba, SHINA, okay? And I mentioned that SHINA was healthy, and we were looking for two major behaviors. We're looking for a run up to these highs for the next resistance, and then we were also looking for bounce hitting this side of the wall. So we were looking for those. Sorry guys, it's the coffee. All right, now, this is SHINA Inu today. All right, so SHINA Inu today. When you start seeing round structures, we've been talking a lot about Sword Method 4.0, start thinking parabolic. SHINA Inu's had its run, just like our previous chart. SHINA Inu was healthy here. That was the next bottom. That's the next time where we should be looking for entries. Prices went up. Okay, so we're now very healthy. We can see it's this one, and then a pullback a few days ago, and then went up. So SHINA's still healthy. These are some of the things I see on this chart. Here is the parabolic that I want you guys to think. Curve, when you start seeing these, and it's not one straight line, and the reason we know it's one straight line, not one straight line, is because if you were to draw a straight line from these foundational areas to here, you didn't get it. Look carefully. Can you see that red line? What are we missing about this? We're missing this section here. Why is that section not touching here? Okay, the reason it's not touching there is because it's curved. Now, if you don't believe me and you were just wanting to just connect those ones, then why is it not these green ones? This is the foundational area. Why is this one not touching? So when you see that, you can draw this. You can draw your straights. Okay, you can draw that. You can draw your straights and make key angles. I do that all the time. But a simplistic version, okay, a simplistic version, I'm going to take a screenshot of that for your notes. A simplistic version is that when you start seeing curved action, round actions like this, think parabolic. You guys got it? When you see round action, think parabolic. Got it? And I tell you that in our tutorials. Round action. When you see a lot of round action like this, you think parabolic, okay? I'm going to take another screenshot. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the next chart so you can see what I'm going to show you. Here is the same chart. Okay, this one right here is the same chart. If you take that parabolic and you duplicate it according to the rules and sword method, we just bring it straight up to the last energy centers, which are right here. You can see that if I put this parabolic at the core, right there where the meat, which is that body of the candle, I call this the core, CR for short, then we can see that we got verification here. I did not draw this from, hold on. I did not draw this from this line here. I only drew the bottom, as I showed you in our previous chart. We drew that one. We duplicated it and brought it straight up. And therefore, now we have this as your verification. This tells you you're starting to do it right. The next resistance should be here. Okay, is that correct? Look at it. The body of the candle hit right at the parabolic, right where it was supposed to. We tried spiking above, but the closest was right there. So this is good. Now that we broke above here, we're talking about SHINA Inu. We mentioned on the website where you guys can find the previous maps, but I told you guys, I want you to think round structure. When you start seeing multiple bottoms in sword method 4.0, we've been talking a lot about those round structures. So when you see multiple round structures, I want you parabolic, okay? When you're seeing these round structures, and these round structures are as follows, okay? If I were to just draw my straights only, like only thinking key angles, why am I not hitting this area here? You can draw the accelerated adjustment zone so you know where to take profits. That's great, that's fine. But you want to verify if you have parabolic energy. If I was drawing this foundational area here and here, I missed this area. If I only draw this area from here to here, I missed this area, but this was the foundation. So these are the people who are also going to take profits at some time. So how do we compensate for all of them? It's simple. You just start thinking parabolic, meaning you draw these parabolas, okay? You draw them, this bent trend line. And when we move that trend line and duplicated it straight up, okay, when we duplicate it straight up, we put it here at the core. And when we put it there at the core, we saw that price hit that exactly. So this tells us that we're doing it correctly. Okay, we don't want to, we can see that if it's correct, we should also have some resistance at this area, and we did. So SHINA Inu had resistance at this area, but you're looking for the break above that area for the next signs of health. So check this out. Price of SHINA was building at this bottom, just like we talked about in our last video, popped up to here, got the pullback. That would have been the next place to take some profit. But the next time to take action will be, where should be the next places to start taking actions? Most likely. And this is where I said, you guys didn't hear it because I wasn't recording, but this is what I'm thinking. I would be looking for structures to be built along the top part, because now you're in a new zone. You broke out of this channel, this zone. Now you're in a new zone, and what we're doing is we're looking for the structure, and this is the symbol I always drew. If we get the pullback from SHINA, that's great. I would not panic so much, because right now what you want is you want there to be a pullback to these areas. You want price to come back. Now, I don't like when it's straight up and down. I don't like that. Okay, I like when it comes down slowly and round because I like these round structures. I would like it to look like this over time. Okay, this is a daily chart. So in one day, we're almost pulling back right back here. But maybe price is really hot and you may not get that round structure. I like it. That's how I like to trade. But even then, if you just get the pullbacks to these old tops, you're almost there. So if I was looking to get into SHINA Inu, I might look to get at these prices. Now I'm already in SHINA Inu. I've already been in SHINA Inu. But if I wasn't in SHINA Inu and I wanted to be in SHINA Inu, I would be looking at this part of the map. This is the part of the map that you'd want to get in. Okay, you want to be at close to these prices and you're already there. So current price of SHINA Inu is 00000. That's 5 zeros, 166. So you SHINA Inu traders, I wouldn't be so much panicking. Just look for structures to be built. If we stop right here and we start rounding here, that's also good. Okay, so I gave you guys the symbol with the highlighter. I showed you. Rounding here is great. If you come up and come down, that's also great. It's the same rounding action. We want to round on the tops because now we can start building up even higher. This is how we can be in a position for a major run. When all of these energies are broken, price is now free to start going even higher. And that's what you'll see. You may see this over time, but now you're in a position. I don't like when there's a lot of gunk above us. Right now, we're in a position where a lot of that gunk is broken. And we talked about that again in our previous video. So I want you guys to know that if you guys, this is where we first saw, see how this round structure, I showed you, it's round. This is when we wanted to first enter SHINA Inu, when we talked about it at the beginning, January 13th, okay? When this structure was broken, you saw it brown, and then we came up here, and then we started building from there. Round structure, we went up. That's what I like. Now we need that parabolic. Okay, we're gonna draw those bottoms and start seeing where the next tops are. That's where the next health should have been coming in around here, and sure enough, that's what happened. So now we have a big run. This is how it's supposed to look. This is textbook sword method stuff. Okay, now I want you guys to know this one. So if you didn't know the last chart, it's this. So you'll see that on my website. I'll post these up again. Okay, guys? All right. Let's go into the next one.
So you wait a little bit to find out, wouldn't you?
No, I wouldn't. You know why? Because I'm not greedy. And I'm not saying that as a derogatory term. It's that when you're a trader and you have an entry that you're coming, you can be exact. You can, but if you are, you're going to miss out some opportunities. Sometimes you got to give your exchange a little leeway. Sometimes just get it close. I was doing a trade yesterday because there was a position that I got on a certain crypto and my order wasn't all fulfilled and we were already at the price. I'm like, I'm just going to do a market order. It charges you a little more, but I didn't need price to come back exactly to my number. Sometimes I just want to be in the trade so I can go about my day. And this is a trade that I'll probably have for the next 3 months. It's more of a longer term trade, not a day trade. It may not make me money for a long time, but I saw that it was getting in a strong position. So I won't sometimes wait for an exact number pullback. Also, you have to leave room for a margin of error. Your lines may not be exactly correct. Now these are pretty correct. They're verified twice. Okay, so I know it's correct, but don't be surprised. I just want to be close to this area. Now, if I was up here, I would definitely not get in. I would wait. I would say, hey, I missed it. Now, I'm already in, okay? But if I was going to get in again for a second round, this is going to be around the times when I would get in. Okay. Also, for some of you guys who took my quantum class that we had when we did quantum introduction lesson 1, this is a quantum area. So this is a quantum opportunity this day right here. So the timing for that, when price went up, is a quantum era opportunity. Just think this area. Today's not a tutorial for that. This is secret information. That's just for you guys in dive tier. Okay. All right. Let's get into the next one. Yep. Go ahead.
Real quick, just by again, the 166 number. As long as we don't go past that or substantially past that, is that kind of what we're looking at as our threshold to see that it's continuing to be healthy and nothing dramatic is happening?
These structures are built on a daily chart. So on the daily chart, you do not want to be closing below there. You can go below there, but look for closes and structures below that. That can get you in delay, and that would mean something's wrong. Okay? If something's wrong. Now, if you're going to trade this more accurately, okay, and if I was going a deeper dive into it, you want to draw accelerated adjustment zones. So just quickly showing you where those zones are at, and this is, you can do this as your homework. do what I did in the beginning. You're going to draw your straights. Okay, so your first one is here. Okay. Second one is going to be here. And I'm just going to draw it in a different color just for the purposes right now. Okay. There's number 2. Number 3 is this one here. Okay. Which means if you were looking to see when to take profit, you would want to see for price to phase through some of these areas. So it would look like phasing through like that. When price phase through, that means weakness has entered, if it does that. Okay, weakness has entered. Otherwise, you may see price still try to build up a case for itself somewhere along those lines and continue higher. I would watch for that and as a sign of when it's time to take some profits. We did the same with Luna, and we pretty much got the top. No, I'm not telling you saying that this is going to be the time to take profit. I am saying watch for this type so you know where to start taking profits. So why do I say that? Is because there may be even one more. So say price is coming down right here and then it goes up. You gotta be careful. Say it goes up here. Now you have another angle from which to draw. Okay, but that will be in the future and it'll be from this bottom. So we used, this is gonna be 1, this is gonna be 2, this is gonna be 3. Okay, this will be 4. There may be a 5 somewhere along the line. And you'll have to wait for that is. It could be over time, but it's going to go higher and higher. And then if you do see that other angle, you draw that other angle. Wherever it's at, you draw it. And then you look for the round action. If the round action goes up on there, great. When it passes through, that's your first signs of weaknesses. So right now, the sign of weakness is this green line, but that doesn't mean it's going to be the case in the future. So this is a little bit advanced. These are called accelerated adjustment zones. If you want more tutorial about that, go to my website, patreon.com. In the search bar, type in accelerated adjustment zones, and it's going to have some tutorials about there. And that's available for Dive tiers. You're going to have access to all those videos. Okay. So if you're a Dive member, you should be able to see all those videos. Okay. Any other questions about SHINA Inu? But at the moment, the basic is still healthy. It's still healthy. And there's a lot more potential. Okay.
It'd be good just to quickly look at upside potential for that one.
The upside potential, like how high?
Yeah.
At the moment, I don't have that because this chart is just on a web browser. So there's some limitations that I have with this chart. So I'm just taking screenshots of the chart to try and make it. I would need more time to get you some possible upside potential. But I go to coinmarketcap.com to get this chart. Okay. But give me more time and then I might be able to play with the chart a little bit more. Okay. But at the moment I don't have a profit target. I've heard prophetic, this was supposed to be a prophetic coin. I've heard that a while back ago. I've had some for almost a year. I've had some SHINA. It's up a little bit, but it's not that much. I didn't have much. Okay. I don't have much of this coin. Okay, next one. Let's go. We're gonna go quickly. I wanna show you USDT.D again, okay? On USDT.D, please don't mind this chart, it's very complicated. I have a lot of stuff, but I wanna just show you some big energies. Remember, when this chart goes up, your cryptos go down. When this chart goes down, your cryptos go up. Every time it goes down, there's more opportunity for upside. And this trend was broken, this uptrend was broken not too long ago on this bar right here. Okay, so on this bar right here, some health started coming in the market. Then we had confirmation when it was this bar. However, we were at a bottom. The bottom was 6.9%. Now we have 1 day and 4 hours to know if we should be going down further to 6.34 or 5.56. This would facilitate a pump in Bitcoin. Therefore, you might see a pump in cryptocurrencies. What I'm looking for tomorrow, and I'm going to put a big highlighter here, not tomorrow, but on Sunday at 8 p.m., I'm looking for a close below that line, just like that.
If we close below that line, it's a good opportunity to get into some cryptos that are in a good position to go up, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
If we close below that line, it's a good opportunity to look into cryptos
that are in good positions.
What
price is that?
I'm going to write it in here right now. There we go. What I am looking for is price to close below, if it's today, it's going to be 7%. If you can't read, like anything closed, like this guy, just as shown in this picture on Sunday, 8 p.m. EST. If it does, there will be more up movement in the crypto markets and BTC. This chart will go to 6.34, I should say, should go to 6.34 and possibly 5.53. This would be a pump in crypto. Okay, so some of you guys looking for the next pump in crypto, you may get it, and it may be short-lived, but I'm just showing you where it's at. Okay,
What percentage would that be for Sunday?
7%. So if 7%, so if it looks just like this in this picture, if this chart looks just like that, then you did it. That's exactly what you want to see. Okay, that's exactly what you want to see. It would look just like that. And I will, oops, I'm also going to circle this and put a big old arrow. Nah, I'll leave it. All right? Yeah, I'll add the arrow. Just to keep things simple for everybody. Then I would look for rounding here, like that. Okay? That would mean I would pump here. I would also see that we could pump here, these two options. Maybe I'll just erase this. Okay, so this would be a big clue that cryptos are going up. Does that picture help everybody? Okay. You guys understand what I'm looking for? I'm looking for the close here, otherwise that tells us we should be coming to this major support. Now I'm not getting into why we did this support. We did that as a class. We talked about that, how to build these lines. Just look at my last USDT tutorial videos where we take a whole dive together building those. Otherwise, I just want you to look for these areas in the current season. 6.34 and 5.35 are some of my most important map numbers. I also have lines which we talked about in our last video, and they are here. I'm just going to show them to you one more time. 5% is in powerful, and also 3.10% is powerful. Okay, very important areas. Look for that in my report from earlier this week. Okay. These will also, all these picture notes will be included with when I post this video. You'll see it, the dive image notes. Okay. Any questions about this?
Question.
Yep. Go ahead.
Your cursor was
in the way.
Like a white, So when you said look for this set of numbers for a possible rise in crypto, what's the starting point?
Currently, we are at 6.62%. But I'm looking for the close below 6.9, okay, which is around 7%. Okay, I'm looking for anything 7% below significantly. So this would be 6.62, it's significantly. Anything below this line, that's what I'm looking for. That's gonna mean that we're gonna have a high chance of going down to 6.34. So that means we should be hitting that. And that means Bitcoin going up, crypto's still being okay to go up. It also means we're probably going to come down to 5.53. Okay. These are a major bottom for us. We're looking for that. Okay.
So crypto's going up?
Yep. When this chart goes down, cryptos go up.
Copy that.
Okay. So when price rounds it here, I'm expecting a very big crash in crypto. But again, as we talked about in our opening discussion, money is being run out of banks. They're going to put them into something. Oh, I heard about SHIBA. I heard about Bitcoin. What is everybody? You're going to see people trading who don't know nothing about trading. And this can facilitate a pump. Okay, you're going to see people putting their money in crypto who don't even know what they're doing. They don't know how to read. They don't know what they're doing. But out of fear, they're going to do it. And maybe that's okay, but they're going to get slaughtered, especially when they see Bitcoin pumping. They're going to use that as a perfect time to pump it. And then that's when they're going to leave the party, because everybody's going to be, oh, the banks are not safe, but everybody's making money in crypto. Maybe I should just put all my money in crypto. I heard everybody's making money in crypto. 1935 crash. Oh, sorry, 1930 crash, right? The 1929 crash, what happened? In the roaring 20s, everyone was making money, and then you had no one left to sell to. There was shoeshine boys and taxi drivers telling people what cryptos or what stocks to buy at that time. And there was no cryptos, the stocks. And they were like, oh, I make money with this, I make money with that. And they were just making money hand over foot. So everybody's, why not? I'll just throw all my life savings. And everyone was just making that money because the markets were going nonstop. And then the party was over. The big boys left. And there was only each other left to sell to. Retail does not hold up the markets. Retail money does not hold up the markets. Okay. It's silly, but I won the... Go ahead.
It's just my brother's got a wee coffee shop in Yuri, and the last time SHINA EU done that big run, I think it was a Glass of Power, and all the young ones, all the teenagers were coming in going, hey, did you hear about this coin? I'm going to buy some SHINA, Shiba EU, and they were buying this Shiba, and he was like, it's time to get
Yeah. Yep, we've had a down market since November. When you hear everyone just talking about it who should not be talking about it, that's something's up. Something is very wrong. All right. Our last map of Bitcoin is that we should have had Bitcoin come up to these areas. That's where we should expect our next resistance and supports. Look at this. We stopped right where we should have, but look at this coin. We got the markup above it, significantly. So what happens? You are now in error territory of health. Now Bitcoin may fall back to that area. That's great. You're going to see, you should probably see a rally in these areas, but now this more is a higher likelihood that you're going to see price come up to these areas here.
Yeah, a lot of people would have traded that breakout. Would they have traded that breakout on the daily close above 21,162?
They would have. There's a lot of breakout traders that just take that risk at the breakout. I don't like to be a breakout trader like that. I like to get the pullback because so many times we get the pullback. It's dangerous just to let somebody else. I always say in sword method, we tell everybody here, let somebody else take that risk. Let them break out, because we don't know we're going to break out until after we break out. Then the run starts. Let them do that, because we could have just as well closed below, and this would have been a clue that we're rounding, and then we would have looking for going down action. We just know to pay attention at this point. That's what we teach you here. The maps, if you have a system that's telling you, hey, buy here, that's great. But the real opportunity should have been somewhere around here, right? Closer to some of these step-ups where the buying was going on. That might have been more healthier. Even this is dangerous because I already showed you, this is the parabolic. We're underneath the basement. We rounded, we came back down to this sword cut. Now this was stronger. This step-up cut was a little stronger, and now we came back into the zone. So the whole thing is dangerous. Okay, you got weaknesses, but the weaknesses couldn't keep it down. Then we came back up to the zone. I don't want to take this trade until we're above here. For me, I don't want to take the trade until we're above here. Now, if we're buying from here, we're going to get out at the top, take your profit. But now we let somebody else take that risk. Let them manipulate the market up, and then let it come in position. But we don't know if it's going to break up or not. Okay, our job is to get in position. So now that it is in position, we may want to consider. So some of you guys who are thinking Bitcoin may go up, you may start seeing that right now. But we'll talk about Bitcoin in our cutting class, because there's lots of ways we can just start chopping to find the sword cuts. You can be chopping pretty significantly. You can see all those weaknesses and strengths coming in and out the market. But my job is to tell you guys what energies are the strongest. And right now, I would say, don't take a trade on Bitcoin for the purpose of trading it. Find another coin that's more in position. Wait for the pullback, okay? But Bitcoin's probably gonna have a run higher up to around the 30 section, okay? So our next resistances are gonna be around prices, let's see, if it's today, it's around 29,000, okay? I have resistances here at a weekly sword cut, and it's still hot. I already let you guys know it's hot, around 31,257. So that's a little bit higher. These are my next tops for Bitcoin. Okay, these are the next tops. Let's add them for you guys to see it. But let me delete these whites. I don't want to confuse you guys. Oh, again, I just want to give another shout out for our cutting class. If you missed the cutting class on Wednesday, it's a new type of class we're having. We're going all the way down to a 1 minute chart, showing you principles within the sword method, just slicing and dicing through price. Very informative. I challenge you guys to watch lesson 1. So these are some of the highs of Bitcoin. Let's add this as a text. That cutting class is available for dive tier. If you guys are a dive tier member, it's $18 for the whole month. Bitcoin, BTC on, actually, BTC January 21st, right, for you guys? 2021?
It's not 21 or 22, Jay.
What is it?
It's 2023.
Oh.
You said 22, but you meant 23. I get it. That'll be 3 XRP, please.
Hate that game. I hate that game. Bitcoin has just passed over into another healthy territory. The next current resistances are currently 28,524. Then the sword cut at 31. 31,257. And then 47K area. The 47 is dynamic. And what that means is that this goes along a track, okay? So it goes along this track. The longer it takes, the higher that price is gonna go. If it happens today, it's only 28,000, but it goes for higher like this, okay? So there's some resistance that goes along this way. Got it? All right, any other questions about Bitcoin before we move on?
Yeah, just to say, I didn't really think anything of it, or I didn't really want to speak about it because I was getting 28 ages ago and it never quite happened. And it's not from a dream or a vision or anything, but I just had this sort of, it's like 28, but I don't really place anything on it. But yeah, and I don't necessarily feel we're going to go that high, but yeah, it's possible.
Good. So watch for those resistances and maybe it's possible, yeah. It's definitely on the map at least. We'll see what happens, okay? If this is that time and you do see Bitcoin pump now, look for Shiba Inu pumps. We haven't looked at the chart, we're about to in just a moment. And then also please wait and look for that big crash. It's gonna happen right after that pump. That's gonna be one of the first of the crashes. Okay, Shiba, okay, so now we're gonna look at Shiba. Our last Shiba Inu chart, Shiba was in position, wasn't healthy. Some of you guys made some money with that. Great job. Okay.
I just had a ladybird come into my room as well. I don't know if it's significant in any way or whether it just came in for a warm. But I found a ladybird. Yeah, obviously -1 outside Celsius. So yeah.
A lizard came into mine last night. I was like, a lizard! She turns on the light. I'm like, what? She was like, it's under. She pushed me over. I rolled over. She pulled under the bed, grabbed out the lizard, and she missed it, and then it chased it. And she chased it all over him. She goes, I got it. I said, what are you gonna do with it? She goes, I'll let it go. And she let it go the very next moment. I'm like, why do you spend all that time looking for the lizard? She's brave. I don't grab bugs and lizards. She does. She's a village girl.
Were you standing on the chair?
I'll get you back to that one later, House.
It depends how big the lizard.
Look, I'll say this. You can take the girl out of the village, but you can't take the village out of the girl. Right, Melody? It's true, Melody. All right, so let's talk about Shiba Inu for a little bit. Shiba, again, we've been waiting for this resistance past this area. We tried to challenge it months ago, could not. Now here we are months later. The health came in. We did get immediately stabs back. You can see the price coming and spiking back to the sword cut, and you got that only for about 2 days. Slow takeoff, price immediately hit on the next candle, our first target, and now we're coming up to the target slowly again. Shiba Inu is currently healthy. However, the major run for Shiba Inu will happen when we're above this area. Some of you are gonna risk it for the biscuit. I'm not telling you to buy right now. You should have been in position closer to here or at the sword cut. Those are the prices you want. You wait for the breakout of there and then pull back to the sword cut. If you're in position, you may want to take some profits at .0. Okay, hold on. At .0000, that's 4 zeros, 13. Around this 13 area. That's where you want to be looking to take some of those profits. However, there's a high chance that you may have that breakout. You need to watch this chart in conjunction with the USDT.D chart. It's like playing Mother May I. Mother is the mother crypto. Bitcoin, USDT.D, look to that area, okay? If the crypto world is okay, which it probably is because of the collapsing system, people are going to start infusing money. That means that we're more likely going to continue to have more breakouts for some of these cryptos. And the area we need to clear for the next higher run is that area right here, the 13 area. Okay, I'm just going to put it here at 13 to make it simple. Okay, you clear that 13, now you're going to be able to come up and challenge these. Now, once we come up and challenge the 00020 area, that's all well, fine, and dandy. Once we can challenge that 20 area, but there's not much more money on the table to 23. So I would be careful taking that second behavior. I would trade this first behavior. Yeah, that's fantastic. Do it. This is where it levels off, okay? So we already saw that this is where that parabolic leveled off. That's where you want to take the trade. But from here to here, there's only a little room. I would be more apt to take some profit at here, maybe set another target, take some more profit around the 23. Okay, so if it was me, I would take some profit at 23 and a little profit at 20, risking it for the biscuit. Why? Because I think you're going to hit this thundercut area. That's the center of the thundercut area. So we should be seeing a gravity, a natural pull once we're here, even if prices spikes here. It may slow down here, then we're going to wait for the next behavior. Let somebody else take the breakout. We're going to get back in once we're on top of this area. So 3 behaviors we're watching for. Okay, now again, it's a little bit dangerous in our current situation because we don't know if we're going to round here or we're going to break up. Most likely, we're probably going to break up in a good way. Okay, I know breaking up is hard to do, but gosh, some of you guys are used to it, right? Okay. Oh, low blow for some of you? I'm just kidding. What we're looking for, is that breakout. That's going to be the next trade. It's not saying to take any action yet. I would wait for the breakout, then take action. Okay, that's what you want to do. At these lines, you either take some profit and you sit down and wait for the price to break out. Let somebody else be the breakout trader. I don't think it's wise for us to be that type of breakout trader, just buying at the top, hoping it's the top. Because what if hoping it's right before the top? Okay, I would say that you're dangerous. It's a dangerous game, buying at the roof, hoping it breaks through. No, we should buy low and be looking to make that profit. Because even if it doesn't, you'll at least maybe get something. If it starts rounding, you're like, oh, it didn't round, but I'll just take some profit. And you'll make the money from here to here, at least. But you don't want to just be buying here at this top, because it could be a top. Now, it could be the breakout, but you're gambling at that moment. Your job is to trade based on what? Trade based on the positioning. If you do take a trade or take a position in some of these prophetic, let the coin come to you. Don't chase after the coins. Let them come to you. Get the confirmation that the candle is above there. Most time, you're going to see a pullback into that area anyway. Okay? And sometimes these trades take off without us, and you're out. And that's okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Is this a daily chart?
Yes, this is a daily chart.
What is the possibility of it phasing through the parabolic line?
I would say right now, let me give you that answer. Okay. Right now, you may see the move tomorrow, by the way. Okay. This parabolic is very close to it. There is maybe about a 40% chance you'll phase through because you already hit your target a few days ago, but there's a bigger and larger chance that you're just going to actually be able to hit a straight up. Okay.
What does it look like on the weekly?
I'm going to pull that one up for you. Let me look on this chart as well. I'm just smaller, just to see if I catch stuff. This was a quantum opportunity, by the way. You're still looking good at the moment. You're easing into this area right where you're supposed to. Let's look on the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, you're also broke above this area, but you do still have to deal with the parabolic that we talked about. We already drew that parabolic. I deleted it, but it was in yellow. It was the one that looked like that. Okay, and it levels off here on this yellow line. Okay, so everything you guys need to know about this is already included on this chart. The biggest, strongest energy that encapsulates all of it is the parabolic energy. Okay, although I did draw this energy on here, it's part of the resistance that helps it get up. That energy is on a weekly chart as well. Okay, so you need to break above there, but compile this with what's happening in the world, and you may just have enough jet fuel to get you through that breakout, and then look for that breakout, possibly a pullback this same week, possibly this very week. Get the breakout. If you get it tomorrow on Sunday, because right now you may get the pump for tomorrow, it looks good, so you may get the pump, and then if it closes above on the weekly chart, look for the pullback, and then take the trade on SHIBA. Once you're back at this price, 13, take the trade it up to 23, okay, 13 to 23, it's not that big of a stretch, and then the next behavior is here. Anybody else have any questions?
You said the next behavior is where?
At 0.0023. So behavior at 13 trades up to 20 and 23. Behavior above 23. I won't take the trade above 20. It's too little of money for me. It's going to be just not enough money on the table. I would like the trade from here to here, and also from 20. So from 13 to 20, I'll take the trade. I would take that trade, and then from 20 above, I would take the trade. That will be the run. That will be prophetic numbers for SHIBA. You'll see probably SHIBA hit something high. Maybe not the full prophetic numbers, but something high, If you get in that territory, that's your clue that you're doing it now. Okay. Anybody else have any questions about SHIBA?
Yeah, slightly confused.
Yep.
You say you're not interested in the trade from 20 to 23, but you are interested if it got higher than 23,
Yeah.
or?
See how this is like a triangle shape here? I'm gonna take this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to get stuck in this area. Just, it's very little, it's not much profit. But I would take the trade from here to here and get out. And then I would take the trade again if we get the entrance here. So that would be okay.
Yeah.
And that would be okay. But this would not be okay for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And I should have drawn this in yellow, by the way. Okay. And I'll post this for you guys so you can see. This is the delay drawing. All right, just so you guys can see my thoughts. I try to use these highlighters now to keep things really simple for everybody, so you guys know my simplistic thoughts on something complicated. I try to make it like, that's why I would do it. Now, you don't need to know how I drew these maps. That's for our dive classes if you guys want more of that as well. Okay. But I'm just letting you know. All right. What's next on the list for you guys? What did you guys want? ETN. So somebody asked for ETN. Okay.
Yeah, and LUNC as well.
Alrighty, here we go. Here's our ETN chart. ETN. This is my latest one. December. I got a later one. Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys know that ETN is a little bit dangerous on the weekly chart. Okay, so we got some strong consolidation areas last year, and we now are rounding but coming back up to here, which I think this means that ETN may have some lower prices in store. However, the good news is that ETN is still within this track. So what does this mean? So if you look at my chart right now, on this chart, we see resistance at these areas here on top. We take those and we place them at the last energy center, which is here, okay? And then we can project it and see the bottom should be here. Price has been flirting with these bottoms, so I don't trust the bottom. The good news is that you're at a bottom, but I don't trust this bottom because you've been flirting with it too long. Now ETN is underneath these resistance. Okay, it's rounding underneath this area. See how it's rounding on my screen? You guys can see. We don't want to be rounding in the basement. Why in the world are we rounding here? That means that's more of a sign of weakness. Another sign that I'm scared about ETN and why ETN is dangerous is because when you flirt with the bottom too much, most of the time you face through. Now, if this is the bottom, if this is the top of the key angle, KA, see, and this is the bottom of our phantom angle, if we are not going up here and we're already in a downtrend, you can see price is already going down, then that means that this area below us is sickness. Okay? When you start trading below the basement, that means you're sick. Okay? We should not be sick, but that just happens to be what is going on right now. Okay? So I'm just showing you that. Let me hide this, and I'll make this real simple for you. If I'm drawing this as my angle, and this is my bottom, then anything below here sickness. This would be health. So areas above here is health, areas above here is sickness. You are rounding up, but there's danger from all that consolidation. Okay? In addition, you're going to have to fight the key angles, which is going to be somewhere here. I'm sorry, the step up. So there's going to be step up areas that are in gray around these areas. So you're going to have a battle with ETN. Now you already had that, so that one was verified. That was good. Right there. Okay. So I don't trust ETN at the moment. I'm just going to put this in the comments. Now ETN may pump because the market's pumping, but it's not maybe a real reason to buy it. I don't trust the health of ETN at the moment on the weekly chart. Higher weekly chart. Price is rounding under consolidation. It also has been flirting too much with the bottom, and that usually means price will phase through. If this happens, ETN will be sick and a great shorting opportunity. So that'll be an opportunity to make some money betting that ETN will go down. Okay, so it's like betting. You bet that it goes down, it's called shorting.
We can, but yeah, there's nowhere we can short ETN.
Oh, okay then. Oh well, ETN will be sick. If there was, maybe in the futures, then think like that. All right.
Where does the indicator show it goes down to?
You want me to put my indicator signals on for you?
You have those dotted lines right
Yeah.
there.
Oh, did it?
Saying, like going below. I wanted to see how far it's showing that it's going down.
Okay.
A lot.
A lot. You're right. Look at this. This forecast indicator is showing it goes to 0. So
Under the computer, but under your desk.
yeah.
Straight through the computer.
Okay.
Like how many zeros below 0?
It's a negative number, Michelle. It's like negative 0.0005.
Wow, it's negative.
7.
I didn't think it would ever be fully 0.
Maybe the devil's got hold of those indicators.
Now, I don't know how that works, Michelle, but I've kind of seen that on Echo before, and I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if you can actually trade down to those numbers.
Yeah, I don't know. That indicator's not looking like it usually looks. I don't know if maybe it's slightly glitched out, because they don't usually do anything that crazy.
It's weird on this chart, but I wanted to mention, Jason, on my charts from November of 21 to today, you can do a parabolic, and my chart shows like we're bouncing on the mid-phantom parabolic upward.
And that was on the weekly as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
They indicate strength, but I don't know a lot about ETN, so I don't know how to comment on anything other than what I see on the chart.
Okay. So if you can, maybe send me a screenshot to your email. I would like to look at your chart. I'm always curious if something we miss. We can never take pride and say, oh yeah, this chart this is it. Like, we can see a lot of stuff, but what about the things we don't know that we don't know? What if we see things that we're missing? And so I love your eyes on the charts, guys. So if you guys have charts, show them, okay?
Okay, and I did just post a link to share my chart.
And there's Mark's chart. Thank you. Copy link.
You're the best, Mark.
Oh, thank you, Michelle. No, there's not a whole lot on there. It's just real basic.
Okay. I'll show you right now then.
Yeah, there was a few people that said ETN could have a move up prophetically as well.
It's a funny one, isn't it? It's a real funny one. ETN.
Yeah, sometimes ETN just has, like, in this bear market, it's just had some random spikes, quite high, just out of nowhere, and then just dumped it up again.
Mark, that looks good. What am I missing? Is that you're using the bottom as your key angle or your top?
The top.
Okay. What am I missing? Let me hide my charts. Okay, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. Do I have that on there? I didn't miss that. Let me pull up this chart right here. I'm going to show you guys what Mark sees. That's pretty big. Now I've seen some energy that we've had on here. Price is now phasing through our Tiger analysis back in October. But what Mark is seeing, I'm going to delete all of this because we can delete it now. I'm going to show you what Mark sees, and I think this is important because this may indicate something. Let's see, remove all drawings and indicators. What Mark is seeing is parabolic energy. Oh, that's why I didn't draw it, okay. There may be some parabolic energy from here to here, okay? And if so, we should have a resistance here. Now that's good, that's good. This is it's a longer version of, see, I've been looking at some of this area, but Mark is looking at the parabolic. Let me see, it doesn't violate any of the rules. No cores are going up here, no hidden ballers to deal with. If this is correct, we should be able to see verification at the bottom. And I think according to this chart, we can see it. So we bring it straight down, okay? Straight down.
The only thing I noticed difference is that your chart is on CoinX, and before you were on KuCoin, and I drew mine on KuCoin.
Yeah. Now, here's the bottom. Now this is giving me more verification than anything. Yes, we still have this to deal with. But this may be a turning point in the battle. Even though we can draw that one here, okay? That may be divided into two behaviors. That may be a big clue about what's going to happen right now. This place right here may be the make or break moment. I wouldn't be surprised, Mark, if somebody who's trying to push ETN pushes ETN into this area, and that's going to flip their book, because right now you're in weakness, or you're in weakness. Now we're not in sickness. Sickness is down here, but if they push ETN till here, then we're going to see a run up to that resistance based on where those foundational areas are at. Now that's the top of the one we have on our other chart. And then that would be where the health comes in. So this would be where that health comes in. This would be the sickness. If I see something and price doesn't hold, look for that to happen. But it's going to be still dangerous, guys. It's still dangerous. Two separate trades. I don't want to trade the breakout. I would say this to you guys. Mark is right in this parabolic. It's correct. It's verified. There would be health on here, but I wouldn't trade the breakout because of the other chart in this area over here. I don't want to trade it just yet because right now you're dangerous. There's a high chance you ain't gonna make it. Now it may make it based on the market, but there's a high chance you're not gonna make it, okay? So I would say for you guys looking at ETN, wait for the breakout. Don't trade it just right now, okay? So let me say that again. This is a very dangerous time. And even right now, price is responding very high to this top right there. It's just stopping right at the line, right where it should. Okay, so this is a little bit dangerous to just buy right now as we're rounding in the basement at the top. Let the breakout happen. Maybe I'll take the trade from here to here. Maybe that'd be curious. That's something I would probably be considering of, the trade from here to here. Yeah, that one might be good. That might be good. Okay, get in this square, then we can make the money up to there. Now I'm gonna give you those prices now so you guys have it. Mark, fantastic work on your chart. Fantastic work.
We gotta work as a team.
Yep. I'm gonna update my notes for that. Let's add that. Appreciate all of your guys' eyes on it. Update ETN. I would not take the trade at this moment. There is a high chance we may not have the breakout due to weakness still showing. However, if we do get a breakout above 0.0024 area, then there should be money on the table up to the 0.0044 area. This is dynamic, okay? So remember, what that means is that the 4-4 moves up and down this track, okay? So move that up and down the track. Okay, so there should be resistance along that area, the 4-4 area. So that'll be trade. So this will be split up into two different behaviors. The next trade above that would be the structures or sword cuts above 0.0044. Okay, anybody else have any comments, questions about ETN? I'll share both of these charts. This is a very simplistic one. Right now, we have not, there's still a high chance we're just gonna go down, and that's the symbol that I always draw for you guys. Please be careful of trading ETN. Wait till there's a breakout. Let somebody else take that risk. Too much risk for me. I don't wanna do it. I don't wanna do it.
Jay, what does that mean there? It says due to weakness still showing, however, if we do the breakout.
Thank you. If we do get the breakout above the area, comma, then there should be money on the table up to the 0.0044 area. This is dynamic. So again, what I'm saying is due to the weakness showing on the other charts, and just by the fact that you're still up below this line, that's still weakness. You're in a downtrend, you're in weakness territory. You do not want to take this trade. Let somebody else gamble. If they want to say, hey, I think this is the bottom, they're trading at the roof. You want to trade the bottoms if you're going to be betting up. But there's still a lot of concerns I have about this chart. Okay, get the break above, then you're more free. Then it's more safer. Go ahead, Mark.
On my KuCoin chart, if I draw a key angle from, let's see here, March of 20 to January of 22, you're going to get a sword cut somewhere around a penny. But I'm just going to throw this out there. Has anybody heard of at this point going to a penny?
I think Christopher.
Yeah, same.
$300 and something.
He's got, I think this 1 cent and then this 30 cents.
I think the last all-time high on it was during the first bull run was 24 cents, which means it's 100 times cheaper now, isn't it? I mean, I'm just saying it's if you go back to the last all-time high, that would be 100x from where it is now.
On KuCoin, it's been as high as like 47, 48, 50 cents, somewhere in there.
I don't know why it says that in the chart, Mark. As far as I know, it was never that price because I've been keeping an eye on it from the start. It's never been that price. I don't know why KuCoin would even rate that.
Yeah, maybe it got listed, and I think maybe it got a different pairing. Maybe it was just BTC trade pairing before. Then they listed it for $1. Maybe it just got pumped on the listing.
Something like that. It's possible.
It was listed. It looks like there's a real long wick that goes up to 50 cents.
Yeah, it's one of them wicks where nobody could actually probably sell at that price, or because CoinMarketCap. I remember when it went to that price. It's part of the Digital Pound Foundation, along with a couple other cryptos.
Is that the UK banks are going to be using this ETF?
Yeah, I personally agree, but it's never going to unless it actually becomes a CBDC or something. Along with Quant, I think, is it Ripple? Yeah, I think so. And Solons? Yes, if I'm correct. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Let's get into Luna Classic. Luna Classic on our last chart, we identified a few cuts. I have some updates on this chart that we had on January 14th for that episode that we were doing. And there should be resistance along this area. Now that area has been challenged multiple times. 1, 2, this is a little one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and even today. Okay, 6 times. So you're seeing lots of structures, but now price has been flirting a lot with this type. The first time we went down, second time we didn't go down as much, third time we didn't go down as much. It looks like price is preparing for a breakout to the positive side. Okay, if there's a positive side, we should be hitting closer to 0.21. So this resistance that we've had is at 3 zeros, 18. 0.00018. That's where we've had our resistance. We get that breakout, we should be hitting 21 probably no problem. Okay, probably no problem. However, that's where we need to look for our next possible opportunity, because Luna Classic trading above that area can get us into some healthy. Okay, that's where we can start seeing some good stuff going on. Now, when we start seeing this energy, as we talked about in my video earlier today, when we were talking about some of the stuff, these energies, when we start seeing all of these round structures, what do we think? What do we start thinking? What is the word I'm looking for?
Is it parabolic?
That's right. When we start seeing all these rounds going this way like this, think parabolic. Okay, why are we rounding so much on the underside as price is going down? When you see these U shapes as you're going down, think parabolic. It's the same when you see these arc shapes as price is going up and you start seeing that, think parabolic. Okay, and the parabolic we drew was this angle here. Okay, and I highlighted it for you to make it a little bit easier for you, but it's this. There should be resistance that matches that, okay, and the support that matches that. So if this is the key angle, parabolic key angle, so to speak, we bring it straight down according to the rules to the lowest foundational areas, which is right here. There should be verification at this area, and there is. I'm a little bit off, but it's very close. Okay, that's where we got our last supports. Now, our mid-phantom should be here, our step-ups should be here. Price responded to our step-ups exactly. 1, 2. The next step up is here. Price should respond, step up, exactly. Okay, so that explains the mixture of these two areas. I'm gonna zoom in. You can see one's gray, a step up, one's a sword cut. That means that both of these areas should be challenged multiple times. Have they been challenged multiple times? Absolutely they have. You're darn skippy, they have. Look, 1, 2, as we spoke about. Now, those are powerful. So if price breaks above those, that's a sign of health. That's a sign of health. We're waiting for the breakout. What's the next signs? Well, we got pushed down once, we got pushed down twice, we got pushed down, and we're getting pushed down a little bit less each time. This is a higher indication that price is not going to be as intimidated by this line anymore. I'm not afraid of you anymore, I'm pushing back. It's like the kid who goes against the bully. He's been pushed against his whole life, and now he's standing up for himself, and he's getting bolder and bolder. He's about to throw that punch. Don't push me. House, I'm gonna mute you, okay? 1 second. Actually, I don't know where my mute is at. Melody, can you help me with show my screens, the participants? So anyway, what I'm looking for, guys, find the participants so I can make sure that I had it off to the side, it's not there anymore. So what I'm looking for is this round structure leveling off in an area, and my area is closer to 21. Now it's probably a little bit lower. Okay, I'm being conservative. Thank you, Millie. That's the screen I was looking for. What I'm looking for is structures to be built above here. That would tell me Luna's going up. Okay, now Luna may go up now, and people are like, yeah, if you want the absolute bottom, you need to be intraday trading this. And that's okay, you don't have to be doing that. Not intraday trading, but you need to be swing trading it. We saw the last supports were closer to these areas, but there were some weaknesses. So price is still gonna battle its way. If you're wanting to buy, wanting to buy when the run happens, I would think it's gonna happen above 21. Because that is the area that we verified through step ups and the bottoms that this parabolic is correct. Get above there, watch Luna go up. Now, we may still encounter problems with this key angle over here, okay? This may still get in the way once we do go up, okay? It may still get in the way and you may see price react. But we'll come to that bridge when we come to it. I'll give you the price for that. It's around closer to 44. So you may see a trade from 21 to 44. That'd be good. That'd be good. Okay, we may see it break above that area and the new structures built. Okay, but if we go up from here, if we do go up from here, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna adjust this key angle here and make a new key angle. That top would also go down. So therefore we'd have new resistances and we'd be able to calculate how high price will go, which is closer to 0015. That'd be a lot of money for you guys. A lot of money. Pay attention to Luna. That hasn't happened yet, so we don't need to do that just yet. Okay. I'm more concerned about this current energy here that's the strongest. Get me that trade, it goes up, then we're gonna draw some new key angles. Okay, But the sword cuts are still viable right now, but they're about to be broken. Watch, pay attention. We still may go down. Wait for the trade to come to you. Anybody have any questions about Luna Classic and what you need to be looking for? This map should help you navigate Luna. Go ahead.
Well, so if we see the weekly close above 1876 and Bitcoin still going up and USDT.D's making its move down, we should be seeing this next week early next week hit that 21,914, yeah?
Yeah, but I would say that a lot of this structure is showing up in the daily chart. You may not need to wait for I would say you don't really need to wait for the weekly on this one. The structures, there's not enough candles to build that same parabolic on the weekly. So look at that breakout on the daily. Okay? Daily up to, from 18, you're going to the 21. But the real trade for Luna is the 21. That's the big boy. If you miss this one, 18 or 21, don't worry about it. No problem. You don't have to trade that one. Take the 21. Get in position with Luna there. But you got time, okay? So you just watch it, okay? It could happen quick. Maybe you don't have time. But I'm just letting you guys know that a lot of these maps are good. You can have them months in advance where you know the strongest energy. So you may not trade the little stuff. That's fine. But look at least the big stuff. This is the big stuff. If that happens, pay attention. Some of you guys are waiting for Luna to be in good position. That's the position you're looking for. Any other questions? Okay. All right. HBAR, 4 more. HBAR, GALA, HOP, and ATM. I know we having a longer one, but I try to give you guys a lot of content on Saturday. Wow, look at this. HBAR coming up to its resistance. Wow. Back in from September 15, 2022. Look at this, Patreon, bullish, 0.54 cents. Alrighty. Had some breakouts in these areas, taking the trades up to here. The next behaviors, according to my last map, are going to be from here to here. That's the trades you want to be looking at, okay? You want to be looking in this area for a next breakout. The breakout is going to be 0.7075. So you're looking for structures above 0.075. If you close significantly, draw that sword cut. Okay, that was this is still one of my older maps. Okay, that might be a good area. Now I'm gonna look at some of the newer stuff because this map is very old. Jan 2023, Michelle.
Very good, Jim.
Thank you. Did I get a gold star? Okay. So we already hit our top here. No more reason to keep that on. Delete some of these.
Do you think it'll pull back? It'll correct from we'll get a better entry price?
This one I definitely want to look on the weekly chart. The candles make more sense there for this one. All right, let's look at some of these structures. On the weekly chart for this one, House, you want to look at that one. You need the close on this one. Okay, I'm just going to put this right here. A close above 0.075 on the weekly chart is needed for this one. That is 1 day and 3 hours. Not Q day, 1 day left from now. Okay, what time is it Eastern Standard Time right now? What time is it here? 5, 6.
It's 5 o'clock.
Okay, 5 p.m. Saturday. I'm going to look at this chart in another way by hiding my lines real quick and just seeing what I see. All right, so on this chart, there's a few things that is easily pointed out, and I'm just gonna cut them real quick so you guys can see. Oops, no. This is HBAR on Binance, so let me just pull up another HBAR chart just to have a fresh. HBAR, USD, on coin Bitstamp. Oh no, it's different. Yeah, it is the same. No, not enough data. Binance US. Binance US. All right, that's good. Okay, so this is what you want to look for, guys. Connect those tops, okay, of these. There's a lot of people that lost some money right here. Okay. All the buyers who are buying in this area, the buyers who bought, this is where they lost money, okay? This was your key angle right there. That's your key angle. This is your phantom angle here. Okay, so that was your KA. That was your phantom. You should have had support here, which you did just a little bit, and then the weakness appeared on this bar. That's where you draw your sword cut. Okay. This will be an area where you're going to want to look for some resistances at in the future. If you are trading HBAR, you may want to take some profit at point 18 cents. So 18 cents HBAR. Current price of HBAR is 7 cents. But if you get to 18 cents, take some profit. Then wait to see what will happen. Price is either going to round there or break out and above. But that would be something that's pertinent for you guys to watch and pay attention for. And I want you guys to think like that. I want you guys to be ready for some of the resistances that will happen at that area. Okay? Just going to draw that. Bought it at 3 cents. Good job, Augie. Good job. Augie, you might want to risk it for the biscuit up to 18 if we get to this, but let's look at it a little bit more closely, okay? Because we haven't looked at HBAR in a while. HBAR in a while. And I'm going to type this in. Text weekly sword cut. Okay, now let's look at some of the energy that's flowing throughout this actual chart here, okay? Some of this area. I'm going to look at some of the energy here and see what I can see. It looks similar to the last chart, doesn't it? We want to probably connect some of these areas here. Look at these cores. Now I'm seeing that round action here. I would want to look and think parabolic, because that would be what we'd want to do. But this parabolic is so far up. This parabolic is so far up that we're not going to be able to use the original parabolic. You're going to have to use the phantom. So that means that heavy weakness was in this chart. Okay, if I'm collecting the energies from here to here, I'm going to draw this again. I'm collecting here, and that's great, and it levels out about right there. But how do I reconcile it with this? I can't. I'm going to miss this one. So that doesn't work. And if I try to connect this one, I'm going to miss all of this. So that doesn't work either. So how do we reconcile it? It's easy. Draw the first angle that we drew, right? Oops. Then after that, you just duplicate it. Oops. We bring it straight down to those energy centers. There's the weakness. There's the hidden weakness. This was verified because when we bring this straight down, we should have verification. You got verification here. That means you need to pay attention here. Was that verified? Oh yeah, it is. Look at that. See? Look, I'm not making this stuff up. You guys can see this stuff hidden within its own price. That was the weakness. The weakness appeared right there. We came back up, challenged it 1, 2, and we were down from there. Which means you also, in addition to paying attention to 18 cents, you need to pay attention to that and those prices. What are those prices? We're going to find out right now. This is going to be the phantom parabolic cut. It's a sword cut, you don't have to do this, but I'm writing D for daily, okay? PA parabolic, phantom angle parabolic sword cut. You guys don't have to label all that, but I do. So I just know where I originated it. Okay, those prices are 14 cents. So maybe you want to take some profit at 14 cents because you're going to see price go down from there. And you'll be like, why did price go down? Jason said 18. I wasn't done. All right, 14 cents. 14 cents. Okay, let's go down just a little bit further to see if there's any buying opportunities on HBAR right now. I'm going to go down to a 12-hour and just real quick cut some of this. I won't spend too much time because we're over time already. I'm just going to cut through price real quick. It's more of that parabolic action. Okay, something like that. This is also that same principle at work. Okay, I said I'm not going to teach you guys too much, but I can't help myself. Okay. You guys see the resistance here? It's exactly where it's supposed to be. Okay, this is a zoomed in version of a 12-hour chart. I drew this one, I put it here because that's the energy center without crossing through the other bodies of the candles according to the rules. Now we're having round action underneath that sword cut, you're going down. And that's where it happened, price went down, okay? Now, this area was broken here, health was coming back, I would not have maybe wanted to take that area. Okay, but from here, price went back up to the top. This is a sign of health. Price is being marked up into this area here, which is area of health. So HBAR at the moment is looking good. You want to be trading above this area. Okay. You want to be above this area. The health is coming in. You're going to need to mark where those prices are at. Draw a sword cut. It's real easy. It's just a level off phantom area. Look for that. Okay. Look for prices to possibly even pull back down to 0.06 cents. So if you're trading, you want an entry, and you missed it, you may want to say, oh, you might get back down to 6 cents. You may, if the markets go down. Watch what happens in the markets, and then you're going to know clearly better what you should be looking to do. Where's my border? Okay, 6 cents. Look for 6 cents pullbacks. I'm going to give you guys some of this right now. This action is very tight, so it's happening on a very low chart. A lot of this energy has been expended already. Okay? You got what you need. This is where you want to be. That's where I'd want to be. That's what I'd be concerned with. I would say take the trades for HBAR if you get the pullback. Otherwise, you may have already missed it. Current price is 7 cents. Some of you guys are going to take the trade anyway, up to some of these higher. It's not the best setup. It's a very poor setup. Actually, it's a very poor setup. You went right from the bottom in a breakout and marked up. So I don't like that type. I definitely don't like that type where they just mark you up and this is a definite gotcha. But if the setup is, I will wait for the setup and then do it. I don't just trade because the candles are going in all directions. It's dangerous for me. When they don't obey the rules and they just go right from sickness to health, that they mark up, I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like to take trades like that, okay? And I'm gonna just put that in my notes here for you guys to, just so you have it later on, okay? I do not like when price is marked up from an area of sickness into health. This is usually latent manipulation. And if you want more information about that, you need to look into some of the work by Gavin Holmes and Tom Williams, Richard Wyckoff, when they spoke about the markups and the trading syndicates and how they mark prices through areas of weaknesses. I have had a theory that if I can identify those areas of weaknesses, we'll also see that what those markups look like on price, because usually it just happens through flats, but with the sword method, I'm able to identify many additional areas of weaknesses. And if I see that, I don't like it. It means there's some manipulation involved. Okay. It'll still work. You'll still see the trade, but I don't like touching that because stuff is very subject to danger when that happens. All right. I think I'm only going to do one more because our time for today, guys, I don't want to take you guys too much. We're already over time. Let's look at GALA. We had a large opening discussion. Oh, I need to add this. HBAR, Binance USD. We need to add it to our favorites. Just by clicking that little, there it is, the little star. Okay, last one for today, and then we'll have to get to some more on Monday. GALA is also in a period of health. I think maybe some of these things are just, they're taking the opportunity as a Bitcoin and just running with that. They're free. Bitcoin's okay. USDT.D is okay. So let's trade, and they're just jumping into these areas. Wait for those entries. Wait for those entries if you can, or get on the next entry. The other thing you need to do is try to see if you can identify quantum trading opportunities. This one, let me see. That was a quantum opportunity. This one doesn't have any quantum opportunities that I see. I would say for this one, for GALA, please wait for the pullback. Wait for prices to come down. That would be the next trade set up that I see on this one. You also want to be aware there's going to be this action, and this action is going to give you quick energy centers. If price is extremely healthy, look for the sword cut to be even higher. Okay, so the pullback may not be all the way to 31 cents, but rather rather instead of 0.031, it would be 0.036. It's very possible that you'll see that. I might be looking too close into this, but This is a 12-hour chart. On the daily chart, I'll see it may not show up at all, and you may get the spike to 31, but if you see just the price come back, that would be a setup. Don't chase after cryptos that do not have proper setups. You may say, oh, but they moved up. Guys, you can be in big danger by just taking trades that are just not properly set up. It's like, yeah, they look good, but it's like going on a date, okay, with the girl. And the girl, she looks good for the night. She's got makeup and she looks nice, but then later on, 6 months down the road, you find out that everything was fake. Her eyelashes, her face, she peels off her face, everything. She said the right words to make you like, oh, think she's nice, right? But later you find out, well, hey, because you were just following by what you saw. It looked good for that moment, yeah, but you didn't look deeper into the situation to see, is this kind of person the person I want to be with? When you're talking about a trade and taking on, okay, because when you take trade, it can go up, it can go down. You can never guarantee anything in the market. You're taking on risk. You want to look into the situation in such a way that you are making sure that you at least have some things to fall back on. Okay, so maybe you investigated her family. You said, hey, is she really what kind of person is your daughter? Talk to her father, talk to her mother, talk to her friends. See what kind of person that person is. Do some checking, ask her, ask all the questions. It's the same thing with dating and trades. You look at that trade and you're like, whoa, it went up. What? Did you do your homework on the trade? Did you draw the lines? Did you find the support? Why did it go up? I don't know, maybe it went up because everything else was going up. It's easy to go up when everything's going up. But is that what's going to help give you the fighting chance? Cryptos that have gone through the process are more developed. When you're in a relationship, if you've seen somebody that's gone through some stuff and overcame and is better for it, they're very powerful, that might be more of a person that may be more stable or more ready to go when it comes to entering a relationship and entering a crypto. You're saying, oh, I'm going to be with this crypto for a little bit. I'm hoping it's a good fighter. I'm hoping it's good for the long term. I'm hoping that the structure is good. So you don't have to just hope that the structure is good. Look to see if the structure is good. That way, in a down day, it will be a better chance. Now, we're not reading the Bible just yet. I want to. We're going to close with the Bible. But I want to say this. In the scriptures, it tells us that the seed was cast, that the seed that was cast along the stony ground grew up really fast. But because it didn't have any root, when the sun came and rose, it was scorched and it withered away. Why? Because it didn't have any root. The root is the foundation. The root is the structure. The root is what's going to help it stay alive when the days are hot or when it's difficult. Do you understand what we're talking about? If you take that principle into your trading, if you're picking a crypto that you think is good, but it doesn't have any root, it just shot up really quick and it didn't build a foundation, then also look that when it's a bad day or when it's difficult times, that crypto will die quickly. Why die so quickly? It sprouted up quickly. Yeah, just because something sprouts up quickly doesn't mean it's good. Just because something looks good just one day doesn't mean it's good. You have to judge the fruit by the root. Okay, look at the foundations for these things. If the foundations are good, it's a more better place to build. The Bible says that nobody who builds this house upon the sand can expect that the house will stand. For when the wind and the waves come, the house will crash, and great will the crash there be. Now I slaughtered that scripture, but it's very close to the actual text. When the wind and wave comes, because they built their house on the sand, the crash of the house will be powerful. But the Bible says that he who builds his house upon the rock, when the waves came and the rain came and the wind beat down upon that house, it stood its ground because it was built on the rock. Now, if you think about this principle, build on stronger foundations, solid foundations. When you build a house, what do? If there's no rock, they pour concrete. They build a foundation. Concrete is a type of rock. They built it so that when things happen, the house ain't gonna go anywhere. Things can happen. You gotta prepare for that. But you want to choose cryptos that have more structures. Don't just chase candles. I'm not training you guys to be candle chasers. You're going to need these skills when you're a millionaire and a billionaire. They're going to be giving you all kind of opportunities. Oh, that crypto's going up, and you're just going to chase after it. Don't just chase after everything that looks good. Look for the things that are in position. Look for the things that climb their way up and built. If it looks good and the structure's strong, you're going to find that it doesn't go down as easily. Okay? All right. Let's close. Now we're going to read John chapter 6, verse 16. It says, when the evening came, his disciples went down to the sea. And they got into a boat. And it started across the sea to Capernaum. And it was dark. And Jesus had not yet come to them. Okay, I'm going to show the screen so you guys can follow along with me. Okay. And it says, verse 16. He got into the boat. When evening came, his disciples went down to the sea. He got into a boat and started across the sea to Capernaum. It was dark, and Jesus had not yet come. The sea became rough because of the strong wind was blowing. When they had rowed about 3 or 4 miles, they saw Jesus walking on the sea, coming near the boat. They were frightened, but he said to them, "It is I. Do not be afraid." They were glad to take him into the boat, and immediately the boat was at the land to which they were going. So when they came, Jesus was not with them when they came into the boat. They weren't in the boat when Jesus was there. Jesus wasn't in the boat when they went out. Jesus was out praying at that time and at that moment. He was being alone. And then what happened? They thought that, man, we're just going to find Jesus another day. He sent us to go across. We're going to go. He sent us to the other side. We'll go to the other side. And it said that the sea became rough because the strong wind was blowing. They were 3 or 4 miles out. And all of a sudden, there's Jesus walking on the water. And they see him. They're like, oh man, it's a ghost. It's a ghost. But Jesus is like, no, guys, it's just me. And then they say, well, Jesus, if that's you, come on. It's okay. And he gets in the boat with him. But the moment he gets in the boat, the trip's over. If we look at this story, I laugh because in all circumstances, you just got to focus on Jesus. Some people go through the storm. They say, oh God, where are you? But he's not far behind. He's right there. In fact, open your eyes. In the middle of the storm, where was Jesus? In the middle of the storm with him. Maybe Jesus was walking on water the whole time, just having fun, just by himself or hidden from you. But he was always paying attention. He sent them to the other side. He knows that we're also going to make it. When he sends you to do something, you trust that God will be with you. He's not going to leave you alone. You go and you do what God said to do. And then here's the Lord. Your storm happens. Lord, where are you? He's there. He's in the midst of the storm sometimes. Sometimes he's just right there in front of you. Don't be scared. The moment you put your eyes and your focus on Jesus, and you put Jesus in your heart, don't be surprised that you blink and the storm's over. Because the moment they blinked, they didn't have to worry about the storm anymore. They were already on the land, even when the storm was going on. You take Jesus with you and watch how your world changes in an instant. When we're so focused on the storm, sometimes we'll fail to see Jesus and we get scared by the things we see. We'll even be scared to approach the Lord. The Bible says that they were frightened because they thought it was a ghost. In the midst of the storm, in the midst of your circumstances, if you're not expecting the Lord, don't be surprised if you see things that are not the Lord. If you see things that are scary, you're going to see scary things if you're only focusing on scary things. Some of you need to get off YouTube for a time. Some of you need to put it down and limit yourself. Maybe not completely, but limit yourself. Some of you guys need to limit yourself because as things get scary, if you're only focusing on the scary stuff, you're going to fail to see Jesus in the midst of the storm. Do you understand what I'm saying? Things may get scary. But you may fail to miss Jesus in the midst of your storm by just being so focused on the storm. But then when you keep your eyes on the right thing, which is the Lord, keeping your eyes just focused on the Lord, don't be surprised that you made it through the storm. And isn't that what they say in the Intel communities, in the Ripple Riddle communities? That you won't know how you survived the storm, but you're going to get through that storm. But the storm is coming. It's going to affect markets, cryptos, stock markets. It's going to affect us all. Banks. You're not going to know how you survived, but you're going to survive. That's what they say in the Riddle communities. It's true. It's the same. But just focus on Jesus, and don't be surprised when the storm is immediately over for you. Okay, maybe the storm's still going on for them, but you're on land. The storm may still be going on, but for you, it's ended. It's over. There's really, even if the storm goes on, it doesn't affect you anymore, so stop worrying about it. Some of you are going to enter the wealth transfer during the storm, and for you, it's going to immediately end. Maybe the storm is still going to go on, but maybe now you're going to be in a position to be a light, a beacon, a hope, a help, an assistance to those in need. Lord, we love you so much for this time. I thank you that we got time to have fellowship, conversation, discussion. Bless the after service call and every person, or the after class call, and whoever fellowships with us or has questions, Lord, be with them. And I pray that you anoint this group to be loving, to be caring, to be beacons of light and hope. And may the storm for them end very quickly. Even if the storm is still going on, when we take you in our boat, we'll have perfect peace. The Bible says, he whose mind is stayed upon the Lord is kept in perfect peace. He whose mind is stayed upon the Lord is kept in perfect peace. Lord, I pray that we keep our minds on you. Help us to keep our minds on you. Help us to keep our hearts on you. Help us to keep our hope on you. For in you is found and revealed all the secrets of nature, all the secrets of our futures, and even the things you hide from us or have not revealed. Thank you that it builds up our faith. Blessed is he who has not seen and yet believes. We don't have to see our future to believe in you. For faith is developed by such. Our faith is based on not what we see. For we walk not by sight, but we walk by faith. We walk by faith, not by sight. Just because we can't see because of the storm doesn't mean we can't see you and expect you and search for you, so that we will not be frightened, but instantly recognize the voice of our Master, the voice of our Shepherd King. I thank you, Lord, for being the voice in the storm, that we're expecting you, that as we go through the storm, Lord, we will be smiling and happy because we are looking for our Lord, and we have you, and we know you're with us somewhere in the storm. We may not always see you, but we know you're there. We know you wouldn't send us if you weren't going to come meet us. We are looking eagerly for you in the midst of all of our circumstances. We love you. You are our God. We praise you. Lord, may you bless them. May you keep them. Make your face to shine upon them. Look upon them with favor. Be abounding to them with grace. Be gracious unto all of them. Give them peace in the midst of their storms. In Jesus' name, amen. Friends, we'll be right back for our after class call. We'll turn it over to you guys for the discussions. I love you, and I'll see you guys on WordRoom Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a time of the Word of God. Amen. Be right back.